Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Bottom of the seventh. 1-0 Mariners. Ryan Mountcastle trying to change it. He will. Off the top and over the wall. A first pitch attack. Smith turns on a ball to left field. No doubt about it. A crooked number in the first inning for the Dodgers after the 2-run home run from Smith. 3-0.
Drilled deep to right field. There it goes. See ya. Into the second deck. Bellinger connects and the Yankees lead 1-0.
Fly ball keeps us deep. Harris back to the long track at the wall. Great catch. Run center, 2-run homer is 29, and the Mets have a 5-0 lead in the second inning.
Good morning. Welcome in to Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. I'm Ravi, Lulla. That's Austin Jacobsen. DB will be joining us in a little bit here once he's done with practice. It was cool that we got that last Mets call from like 1954. That's incredible. That's not unusual. It was just a weird, like the guys, the mic was distorting. Yeah. And I was like, it sounds like the Bobby Thompson home run.
Actually, I like when they do that, like in movies and stuff too, when they'll call back and everyone's doing like the 1950s broadcast voice.
Yeah, I see here.
There goes Johnny, back to the plate for his third time.
It's like the what is it? The shot heard around the world, the Giants home run, where it's like it's way back there. It's gonna go.
We should find. That's what Kyle Crooks really should do for Game 1. He should really throw it back. Yeah,
go full like
man, woman, and child. It's Dylan Raiola in the aisle.
That's iconic. I'm here for that. I want him to go full like 1940s.
Ooh,
like newspaper man.
Okay,
like I want the hat.
Yeah,
that says press in it. You know, and then I want him to be like, the Nebraska Cornhusker. See.
You always know when you're watching like a period piece sports movie.
Yeah.
And the press, like they always have the big bulb cameras that like flash, and then it's like going to be a montage back where you're about to see like the most like obscene like form of racism you could possibly see, because it'll be like a flashback moment, and then it'll like be someone back in an alley getting beat up or whatever, and you're like, oh wow, that changed. I thought we were watching a baseball movie.
We sometimes we are. That did happen in a couple baseball movies.
A little bit, yeah.
Famously,
42.
There was some racism in a couple baseball movies.
Yeah, a little bit. 42, man. That
was pretty rough.
That is pretty rough.
Who's the guy? He's the guy that plays the pirate in Dodgeball, who just has to
Steve the Pirate?
Yeah, he just has to say the N-word like 1,000 times in that movie.
Oh, because he's the Phillies manager?
Yeah.
That is right. Yeah.
I'm just like, dear Lord. And it's
hey, the cameras aren't running. You can stop.
He's like, no, I'm a method actor. Like he's just berating Chadwick Boseman for 6 months.
I assume you've seen Black Klansman.
Yes, yeah.
Great movie. That one. That's another one of those movies you're watching. And you're like, I don't think all these guys are acting. Like some of these guys, it seems to come from a different part. Like, what are we talking about here?
Like, some of these seem gratuitous. I don't even know if that was necessary. I understand it's a movie about the KKK. It does seem over the top.
Just a touch. Just a smidge. Let's get that figured out. Hone it in.
Rico understood what we were doing, though. He goes, Jackie is most definitely a brunette. There's a very funny Shaden Gillis bit that kind of does the old-timey baseball guy voice that I appreciate, but not as much as I like he's making them at night.
Yeah.
But, I don't know how we got on. Oh, it's the Mets broadcast.
Oh, the Mets broadcast.
That sounded like it was from before the Mets existed.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite old school, like, I'll just go general. Do you have a favorite, like, old school broadcast call you go to?
I do really like Man, Woman, and Child that put him in the aisles.
Right,
It's a Nebraska thing,
Nebraska
so,
one.
You know, that's obviously that's a pretty good one. I'm trying to think. I used to have this book when I was a kid. It was called And the Crowd Goes Wild, and it actually came, this is how old I am. It came with a CD that you would like put in your desktop computer, your tower, and you would sort of have the CD would play the calls along with
that's cool.
Kind of as you're flipping through the book, and it'll give you the pictures and stuff. It was actually very, very cool. But I'm trying to think of like a real old school one. A lot of the ones that I remember are from my lifetime. I very distinctly remember the 62 home run for Mark McGwire. It was this like little line shot that didn't even, because the whole thing was who's going to catch the ball, how much are they going to sell it for, and then he hits it into the bullpen. It was his shortest home run of the year, the only one that didn't go in the stands. And it's like, well, I guess we don't have to worry about that. It's a clubhouse attendant,
right?
And so I remember that one. I remember the Red Sox winning the World Series one.
One that's always, and it's almost like my first pivotal sports memory.
Yeah,
is Keith Jackson, Vince Young to the corner.
Oh yeah, sure. I forget you were like 8 years old when that happened. 8?
Yeah, 8. Yeah, it would have been 8. Yeah,
maybe 7, 8 years old.
And I remember like watching the game. Like I was sitting in front of the TV and just hearing it. And I've heard it so many times like since then too. But yeah, it's a great one. That's a great one.
One of the most, kind of in the same vein, I was about the same age. One of the most iconic ones for me is Jim Nantz doing the Tommy Frazier run against Florida, where he's like, and he's racking up more yards and more whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like,
how many
tackles can one man break? Yeah, so
that's a great one.
That's an iconic one. There's a super random one where it's Florida State, Florida in 1998, I believe. And it was Peter Warwick. I love Peter Warwick.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, this isn't like a wide right or anything, right?
No,
like,
no.
Okay.
This is a Peter Warwick end around, and he throws a pass on it instead of running it because he was a quarterback in high school.
Yeah.
It's like a 50-yard touchdown to Ron Dugans, and that's like an iconic one. I also really love – so you probably weren't old enough for this. There was, in like 1999, ESPN put out this video. You can probably find it on YouTube too, called Images of Our Century. And it's like a 6-minute video of just like the coolest – it's like the best sports highlight video of all time. It's just the last 100 years of highlights, basically. Mm-hmm. And there's a ton of great calls in there. Like the Doug Flutie one is in there. You wouldn't believe how many announcers just yell, "He did it!" after. There's just a million. He did it. But the Boston College Hail Mary for Doug Flutie one's in there.
I'm still at different times. I'll be like a really big radio enthusiast if I can pick it up. Mm-hmm. And it was much easier to do NFL team broadcast because on the app back in the day, you used to be able just to like scroll, find a team, and you could play it.
Yeah.
I listened to the Minneapolis Miracle like live on my phone. Very cool moment.
Yes.
Very cool. Even better because then it was the TV delay. So I sprinted like out of my car because I was just pulling up. I heard it and I sprinted out of my car, ran to my house and turned it on. And it was like happening like as I got in.
Nice.
It was the perfect like duality moment.
I will say there are times where the Homer broadcasts are just so much better
100%.
in those moments than the national broadcast. Not that those guys do a bad job, but
I would 100% say that for Creighton broadcast.
Oh, John Bishop.
Yeah. I love listening to a JB call, and then you hear like the NCAA broadcast when they get in the tournament. Like, this isn't our guy.
I get so buttoned up. It is my favorite when Bishop and Nick Baugh are together.
Yeah,
because Nick is like I love Nick Baugh.
Well, that Oregon game was a great one.
Yes.
Jason Green.
Yes. Yeah. When they made that's an incredible one. No, Nick, I mean, it's so funny too to hear Nick, because we don't get to hear John on national calls, right?
Yeah.
So
except College World Series.
Right, but I mean for basketball.
Yes.
And so you don't get to hear like the duality that you do with Nick Baugh, where he's full on like professional, buttoned up, like basketball analyst, broadcaster, and then you go to the other side and he's on a Creighton game and he's like, "Meet me at the rim, Mr. Gibbs."
Meet me at the rim.
Incredible, Shane. Incredible.
That's perfect.
Yes. Like I love that.
I like TK's comment. The Ken Pavelka, the Maryland game where he's talking about with all the bangerangs. Then he also had the Maryland upset a couple years ago where Sam Hoiberg had the steal and score.
Oh yeah.
At the very end.
I think it's time to twerk.
No, that was when he goes, "I think I'm gonna have a heart attack."
Dude, Kent has some iconic ones. Most of the ones that I think of with Kent are football.
That makes sense. Yeah,
he was the football broadcast voice when I was a kid and first starting to like pay attention to Nebraska football. So like 94.
Yep.
And so he had like the iconic like touchdown, Tommy Frazier.
And then obviously Greg growing up with me.
Yes. Yeah.
Touchdown Nebraska.
Yeah.
So good.
Touchdown.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then big. I know he.
Touchdown.
Yeah. I would love to know what his thoughts were on saying Big Mac sack all the time. Because at some point, I'm sure he hated it at the start, but by the end, man, did that hit.
Oh, like
I loved a Big Mac sack.
Oh, he was chewing that up.
Big Mac sack.
Like he was getting after it. It is always kind of funny because like sometimes you do these things and you have to get the ad reads in, or you got to get the sponsors in. And sometimes it feels super forced. And you're like, oh, man, I wish I really didn't have to do this. But, like, the way that Greg Sharp, like, owned the Big Mac sack, and it's like, I forgot it was a sponsor at a certain
I know.
point.
You just thought it was, like, a part. If you were only, like, not a football fan, Nebraska football fan, you would have assumed all sacks were Big Mac sacks.
Yes, and you were just like, man, they must have had some iconic defensive end named McDonald at some point. And shout out John McDonald from Millard North. He was a D end when I was there.
Okay, all right. That was embarrassing.
And you would have thought though that there was some like the best D end that ever played in Nebraska was named McDonald.
So every sack.
So like the best sack in the game was like the Big Mac sack.
Yeah. I actually wonder on the volleyball sense now. I do worry about my good friend John Baylor, how difficult it will be for him to come out of break saying, "We're at the Bob Vanning Sports Center at John Cook Arena playing at Tony Pettit Court."
I do feel bad when it's like some super wordy thing. And they have to they have 18 names for something.
Well, then they'll also be playing. It's like Nebraska volleyball playing Texas A&M CorpusChristi.com/net. Jeez, how many more words do we have to fit in the first two lines?
After places like Texas A&M Corpus Christi go private equity, and they're gonna have to really tag on the ads on there. They're like, "Welcome to the Texas A&M Corpus Christi Athletic Department, brought to you by Quicken."
Are you a fan of obviously? So bowl games have changed quite a bit, right? It's mostly sponsorship bowl games, but there was something about the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl.
100%.
For
the rest of my life, it'll be the Tostitos Fiesta
right.
Bowl.
When they changed it to like the PS5 Bowl, I was like, "Excuse me."
I was like, "I'm sorry, I don't care what you call it. It is the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl."
That was the only brand I actually appreciated. Like, you guys fit. You understand.
I appreciated the synergy, but it will always be the FedEx Orange Bowl.
Okay, I was going to say FedEx Orange Bowl,
and the Nokia Sugar Bowl until the day I died.
Okay.
That was probably before you.
Yeah.
But like
I'm a Nokia fan, but yes, I understand. I played a lot of Snake on that thing.
I would say you big flip phone guy.
I was more of a slide, LG Cosmos. Snap that thing in half.
I was a big Nokia Sugar Bowl fan.
Mm-hmm.
Although that
All-State Cotton Bowl, that was a good one for me.
So for me, like the Cotton Bowl is just the Cotton Bowl. It's like
fair.
The Rose Bowl. Like
did they do Goodyear Cotton Bowl too?
Yeah,
was that another one?
So.
Okay.
I think Cotton Bowl was one of the later ones to get a sponsor, not as late as the Rose Bowl, but so it just stayed the Cotton Bowl forever. But there's a few of them that they are very like stuck in my head, like it's the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl.
Right. Yeah.
I don't care what you call it, like it's the Staples Center.
What was it? Was it Tostitos last year? What was it?
No, it was like was it Verbo?
Oh, gross! Yeah,
I think it.
And YouTube TV is getting in a bunch of like when the NBA Finals. It was the YouTube TV NBA Finals. Let's not make this more difficult than it
I was like, it's not the YouTube TV Larry O'Brien NBA Finals MVP trophy brought to you by Nokia.
It was the Verbo Fiesta Bowl.
Terrible.
It does not hit.
Hate it. Although there probably are more Verbos in Arizona than maybe anywhere in the country per capita.
That's fair. Yeah,
because you got all the old people that like move there half the year and then rent it out the rest of the time.
Yep. Primarily during the time of the Fiesta Bowl.
Yeah, exactly. Right. They're getting their Verbo game right. I will say with the Kent Pavelka ones, one of my favorite TV calls live was the the Mike Breen double bang on Steph Curry's like 38
the OKC one. Yep. I referenced that in the office the other day. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I had a double bang.
That might be my favorite like random non-playoff just moments ever. I was so happy.
I like hearing Breen.
Unbelievable.
I like hearing Breen talk about it because he's like, yeah, the second one just snuck up on me. I never double bang.
I know, he's like,
and he talks as if like he's like pre-planned it out. And someone had tracked it. I think he's only done like 7 or 8 like double bangs in his like career.
Yes.
But like one of them, like most of them are iconic, like all great. Yeah. But then he doesn't double bang like the Ray Allen like 3. Yes. He doesn't double bang like other ones. It's
not planned. It's a totally organic thing.
Which people forget that year for Steph Curry was heater season.
I do not forget. That's one of my favorite. Honestly, it's one of my favorite seasons of watching a sport ever. Yeah. Was the 73 win Warriors. Like,
do you think when Steph retires, he'll get due credit? Like, not obviously when he retires, people will say First Ballot Hall of Fame. Well, that's Basketball Hall of Fame is a little bit different, right?
Yeah, Basketball Hall of Fame.
A lot of people get it.
The Basketball Hall of Fame.
A lot of people get it. But a decade after, do you think
Pretty
people
sure
still
Jameson's
think people will still give like credence to like what he has done?
I don't know. I think it'll kind of depend on
because you and I are on the boat. I'd say top 4, like all time.
I think he's the 4th best basketball player of all time.
Yeah.
Like I genuinely believe that. I don't see a way around it. You can make arguments for a bunch of other guys in that spot. There are only 3 guys I can, without a doubt, put ahead of him, no questions asked, and that's Jordan, LeBron, and Kareem. You can make arguments for Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, and I really don't think you can make a Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell argument personally. It's just too different, but whatever. I'll listen to an Hakeem Olajuwon. I'll listen to a Kobe. I'll listen to a Tim Duncan, but I don't think Steph Curry is more of a one of one.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good way to
those
put that.
guys.
Yeah.
Like he is the most unique of any of those guys, because even like Larry Bird was for a long time, and so was Magic Johnson. But Magic Johnson, and I get that LeBron is a different player than that. LeBron is a 2.0 of Magic Johnson physically. Nikola Jokic is a 2.0 of Larry Bird physically, right? There's been others like that. Kobe and Michael are very similar in their game styles. Kareem is probably a one of one. Like we've never really seen a center do it like him before. Jordan was just the best player of all time. Like I don't really feel like I have to explain that.
Not according to Kenny Bell.
Well, Kenny's nuts. Like that was the wildest take of all time. And I'm not even going to start on the Jerry Rice thing with you guys because that's absurd. But my point is, like, I will put Steph Curry, in my opinion, the 4th best basketball player of all time.
Rico says the double bang is rare, waiting for a triple bang when Brunson hits the game winner in the finals. You cut your hair, Rico.
Rico,
it's over.
You got a haircut. You'll never see a Knicks finals.
Yeah, so we did bring up a good question because who did he say, like his uncle or something, tore his Achilles yesterday? Rico?
Oh, his father-in-law.
Yeah, father-in-law.
I believe.
His father-in-law.
Also his barber.
Yeah, that was crazy. I mean, the man responsible for cutting the hair.
Yes, like he's like, oh, I'm not claiming credit for that one. I was like, that's the one you have the most influence on.
Yeah.
So the wave of terror from Rico's haircut has already begun.
So that's what I'm curious of is when does the reign of terror end, and when does it like start to build goodwill back? Right? Like, what's the interest rate on his hair?
I think it's when it's noticeably growing back.
Okay.
Then we're out of the danger zone.
So essentially, when he's back to a bad haircut, everyone is safe, right?
Well,
when Rico looks at his worst, everyone is fine. Things are looking good.
I think that's the sacrifice Rico has to make for the world. Is his
I
hair
agree.
always has to look bad.
I agree.
I think that's what we found out here. He has too much power. This is a real Samson and Delilah situation we've got here. He's got too
How
much.
many biblical references can you make in the like?
I went to school to be a pastor. I can make a lot.
10, 11, 12.
Not like I'm like we get to September 20th, man, and he's itching the top of his head. He's like,
I swear to God, if he cuts his hair during Nebraska football season, like I might try and get him fired.
There are no bye weeks. Rico.
No, the bye week.
You think Maryland's going to be an easy? Nebraska's 7-0. We'll go into Maryland. Oh, we're going to be totally fine. No haircuts.
I'm talking about even actual bye weeks. He's not allowed to cut his hair because it's not going to grow back fast enough.
Yeah,
can't happen. It has to be after the football season.
He does wonder if he can get a braid when it gets too long. I think anything you do with your hair that does not involve removing it.
Yeah, I think I'll allow a braid.
Yeah,
that's fine.
I think you should be okay. TK's asking who was number one. He was number one.
For what?
The single digits, I assume.
Oh,
TK actually wants to talk like real ball.
I couldn't tell if he was talking about the basketball thing. So.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Jordan's number one.
Said Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Is that what you're asking, TK?
I'm assuming because he was talking to me.
Oh yeah, he said Kareem is a better Wilt. Yeah. Okay.
No, Kareem and Wilt's game are very different. Very different. Wilt was.
Were you asking about Kenny's number one? Kenny's number one was.
Nikola Jokic. Yeah. I think he was trolling though. He's not really a basketball guy.
Yeah.
He's not really not a big hoops head. He is a big Denver, Colorado guy though. So I think
that was another thing. I had a dream last night. You're gonna love this dream talk, right? Obviously, volleyball alumni match is coming up on Saturday. Very excited about that. They had their press conference, and Kelly Hunter was talking about how the current team is like talking just mad crap to the alumni.
As well they should.
So volleyball and football a little bit different, obviously, right? So I was thinking if you do like a 7-on-7 format, so you can only really pick guys that played really in the last like decade or so.
Probably not even unless they're still active or like recently active in the NFL. You're probably talking about like 5 years or less.
Okay.
Otherwise, people are like, legs are going to blow up.
That's fair. So what if we just like turn injuries off and just like who would you like to see compete in a 7-on-7 alumni match?
So we're doing this like Xbox style, no injuries, no fatigue.
No injuries, no fatigue. And you get, I wouldn't say like prime their career because obviously like Sue's not in this because 7-on-7. I'm not going to put like Lyman out there, right?
Sure.
But who would
Can I put Sue at running back?
Man, he did play, right? He's a fullback.
I think he would be good at any position.
I agree.
But like who do you put out there to compete against the current Huskers? So the goal is like you are coaching, you get to pick the players in which you want to win.
So
right?
7-on-7 is a little tough because it's like a different style.
Right.
And
I don't want to play 11-on-11.
No, I
mean?
I understand. I just mean it changes the pool of players you're looking at for Nebraska because stylistically only certain guys fit. Right. So I'm probably I'm trying to go quarterback first here. I mean,
because you want a thrower, right?
Yeah, you want a guy that can dice up.
Because 95% of people are just like, you're taking Frazier, right?
Right. And first, I mean, if we're doing it today,
I've got an underrated guy.
If we're doing it today, you're probably looking like Frazier's probably too long ago.
Yeah.
If you're doing it today, because you said within the last 5-10 years, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to go.
What if we do quarter century? Just quarter century?
So
do that
since 2000. Okay.
Yeah, since 2000.
So the first guy that came to my mind for 7-on-7 was Joe Gans.
Okay, that was my first thought, but then I backed it up just a little bit, and I think I'd go Zach Taylor.
So I had a second one. Zach Taylor's definitely an option.
Yeah.
The other one that I thought of because famously he was the best quarterback in shorts of all time.
Tanner Lee.
Bang!
I knew it.
That was his thing, right?
Yeah.
Every time somebody would see him just throw a football in shorts, they're like, "Oh my God, that guy's an NFL quarterback."
Well, dude, he was our Markinowski, right?
Every time you see him play actual football, you're like, "God, he throws to the other team a lot, like a lot." Oh, that's not great.
I think if you listen closely, there's another interception at Northern Illinois. Pretty sure you can still hear that.
Well, he's still running back to the end zone on that. So, I like for a 7-on-7, I would consider Tanner Lee, but I think I go Joe Gans. I think I would go Joe Gans.
I think I would go Zach Taylor.
Because
mobility is not an issue, or I probably would have went Tommy Armstrong.
Although I don't know if you've seen. Oh, we're talking 7-on-7, not flag.
Yeah, right.
Because in flag football, mobility is a huge issue.
Okay, so if we change it to flag, would you go Tommy?
Maybe. Yeah.
I think I'd go Tommy.
I might go Tommy.
Well, but I mean,
you're basically.
I'd want to be able to throw the ball, but Taylor back there on flag, I think I would take my chances.
No, I'm going Tommy. Tommy's a better thrower than Taylor.
Okay.
Also,
more bounce.
Tommy's been dicing it up in the arena,
that is true.
Football for the last however many years with the beef. So
that is true. So what do you want to do? You want to do 7-on-7 or you want to do flag?
I mean, I think it only matters for the quarterback position. So after that, it probably doesn't really matter.
Well, I disagree. I think your receivers change a little bit.
You think so?
I think a little bit.
You want some blockers out there?
If we're doing 7-on-7, I want the best receivers that can catch in space. Where if I'm doing flag, I want guys that will be able to
bust a move.
Yeah.
So you want your DeMornay Pearsonell? If you're
I was going
flag.
I was even going to go deeper cut and go Jamal Turner. Even consider him.
I love Jamal Turner.
I love me and Jamal Turner.
I was convinced that Jamal Turner should have been the quarterback. He came in as a quarterback. That's not
that's fair.
I'm
no,
not
that's
just
fair.
making it up.
Yeah, right.
I'm not just
you're not the people who are still Bubba Starling's going to come back. He's
going
to be our quarterback.
I'm also not just why don't you throw Wan'Dale Robinson in the Wildcat and let's see what happens. Just let him be the quarterback.
Yeah.
No, he came in as a quarterback. He was a 4-star dual threat quarterback coming out of high school.
Yep.
That's a real thing. I was convinced he should have been the quarterback.
I love our chat. Our chat's having a completely side conversation about Archie Wilson and Dylan Royola right now. It's so
absolutely.
Fun.
We love it.
It's the best. Okay, so
Jack says, is Dylan still the face of the program or is it Archie?
That's a good question. Well, once this last single digit gets announced, if it's who I assume it will be, then yeah.
Who do you assume it'll be? You think it's going to be Dylan?
I think it'll be a QB1.
You think so?
I think so.
Is he switching away from 15?
I think so. It wasn't 15 to begin with. He wasn't 15 to begin with. He was one to start.
Who?
He entered in as one.
Dylan?
Yeah, he was one in high school.
Oh, well. He said he wore 15 because of Tebow.
Sure.
Big Tebow guy.
Sure he did. Huge Tebow.
Yeah, he's got the same haircut and everything.
Tebow haircut?
Yeah.
Jeez. I can't believe that. What?
Nothing.
I said jeez.
TK, I don't know that about Jamal Turner. Maybe he was. Maybe he wasn't. I don't know.
Wasn't going to be putting the requisite work to play quarterback.
I don't know that.
Deep agrees. If I give Archie one, that would be even better. That'd be even better, honestly, at this point. Just be like, you know what, Archie?
Yeah,
you are the toughest
Caden's
guy.
right. They got Jamal and Bubba Starling in the same class as quarterback, and neither of them ever played quarterback.
Shout out Bo. Hell of a recruiter.
Yeah.
Quarterback guru, Bo.
So apparently,
Wasn't pretty.
I don't know if this. Yeah, it's big Tim Beck guy. Sean Watson. Which one do you prefer?
Tim Beck's still floating around.
He is.
I always see him on
Sean Watson was the OC at Ohio State.
I know.
After he was at Nebraska.
I know.
And people were like, "Oh, this is a great hire," and I was like, "I don't think that's true."
I don't know if it's just one of those buyer's remorse things, but it's always so interesting how quickly we like follow our exes for Nebraska football everywhere.
Yeah.
So just see where they go.
It's like, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You up?
The number, I guarantee there's a higher number of Nebraska football fans that know like Jeff Sims' whereabouts than Arizona State fans.
Yeah.
Like they're probably like, who?
Yeah, I'm sorry. What? Who? You mean the guy that played like a game last year because Sam Levitt got hurt?
Yeah.
I don't know where he is.
College football playoff participant Jeff Sims.
Famously, yeah. We know this. This is true. The national champion, Ernest Hausman. I know that one still hurts people a little bit. Sorry, I shouldn't have brought that up.
Yeah.
Somebody said Trey Palmer needs to be on the team regardless. I agree.
Trey's a good pick. Trey would be a good pick.
Trey is a good pick. Trey is a great pick.
That's an interesting.
That's a quality
pick.
one.
Yeah, that's interesting because so receivers is where it does get very interesting because if you're doing 7-on-7, I want guys who will get open, be able to like snag passes, right? So I mean the easy ones are like Kenny.
I got to put Kenny in there.
I feel like Quincy would be really good too.
I got to put my guy Kenny in there.
Stanley Morgan's like another one that you could like throw in as well.
I'm definitely, if I'm doing flag and not 7-on-7, I'm definitely putting DeMarne Piersonell in there.
Okay.
I want a little like one of the most elusive guys they've had.
If I get a slot, so let's see, 7-on-7.
I mean, you got like JD Spielman, who was really good.
Even Jordan Westerkamp, like I would take him to like secure passes. So know that I got a guy in zone.
Westerkamp would be my like 7-on-7 guy.
Right.
Like,
yeah, I agree.
Can get open.
Yes. Yeah.
He's always going to get open. Like he's my slot receiver.
Yeah.
Like got to go Westerkamp.
Tight end is where it gets really interesting.
Yeah.
I've got one that I think.
Who are we doing on tight end?
I like Kyler Reed.
I loved Kyler Reed.
I think I'm going to go Kyler Reed.
I felt
Ethan Carter kind of.
Ethan Carter was quality. I might just use Quincy Enunwa as my tight end.
Might go Mike McNeil.
Or maybe Niles Paul as my tight end.
Niles Paul would be a good pick.
He was an NFL tight end.
Yeah, NFL tight end.
Receiver at Nebraska.
Yeah. I mean, he was just a big blocker guy. I saw Niles on Monday.
Did you?
Yeah, Omaha North.
Over at Omaha? Yeah, how was he?
I mean, I didn't talk to him.
Oh,
I didn't be like, hey, Niles.
Wow, rude.
How we doing?
Just be like, hey.
He was busy, man. He was doing his thing.
Niles, my guy.
Had to talk to Coach Martin.
That's fair.
Stuff. Yeah.
How's Coach Martin doing?
He's good. He's good. He's limber.
Getting ready for the first game.
Big game.
Excited?
I think everyone's excited for
Omaha
that.
North and West Side.
It was a good one.
I think everybody would be more excited if they moved it to Friday, but
no,
it's too late for that.
Come on now.
Well, I mean, everybody's going to miss it.
It's the biggest game in the state.
Everybody's going to miss it.
Biggest game in the state in Nebraska on Thursday night, August 28th, is Omaha West Side.
In the state, that's correct.
Yeah, that's what is that not what I said?
That is what you said.
It's the biggest game in the state. What other game could you possibly talk about on August 28th that's happening in the state of Nebraska that's bigger than West Side and North?
I don't know what to tell you. There is a college football game that will be played that day as well.
Where?
Kansas City.
Well, notably not Nebraska.
Arrowhead Stadium at Geehaw Field or whatever they're calling it.
Geehaw?
Yeah, I don't know how they pronounce it.
I love me some Geehaw.
Is it pronounced Geehaw?
I have no idea.
I don't either.
It's more the acronym. Do you pronounce acronyms?
Ken, we said this century. I understand you said Irving Fryer. I'm aware of Irving Fryer. I know who Irving Fryer is. We said this century. Irving Fryer would be lacing that thing up. He'd be like,
Ken, I'll give you benefit of the doubt. You probably just tuned in.
He'd be like 65 years old.
Yeah.
Like I don't want a 65-year-old Irving Fryer out there. I'm sorry. Like I'd go Turner Gill too, but like, what are we doing?
TK, imagine Tommy YOLO Ball Armstrong
like,
and Trey Palmer.
I would love to have. I'd love to have Johnny Rogers out there as one of the receivers.
And again, you have to keep in mind that this is like volleyball alumni match format, so it's the current Huskers versus X
versus relatively recent.
Yeah.
We are trying not to blow out any Achilles or ACLs. Husker graduates.
Who's your coach?
Well, gotta go Frank Solich.
Ooh,
gotta go Frank.
I think I'll take Mark Whipple. Make it real interesting. Bro. Tim hit you with a bro. Jerry Rice played when he was 65. Irving could do it too.
You know who has the second most receiving yards over the age of 40 in NFL history?
Tim Brown.
The second most after Jerry Rice.
Brett Favre.
It's Tom Brady.
Oh,
has the second most receiving yards after
with
the
what,
age of
like
4.
7?
Yeah, it's like 6. He caught one pass, I think, on accident.
Good for him.
And that is the second most. So no, No one else could lace it up at that age. No one.
Your Jerry Rice arguments, man.
It's not arguments.
Ooh.
He's the best receiver of all time.
Kobe wants to put Billy Kemp on that 7-on-7 team. I just didn't. It's not Billy's fault that they could not physically throw the ball downfield. But I just didn't see enough to warrant him.
Goodwill Hunting. It's not your fault.
It's not your fault.
You're just Robin Williams going up to Billy Kemp, being like, "It's not your fault. It's not your fault, Billy."
I hope one day you get out of here and I never see you here again.
I want you to get in that car, get to the NFL or the CFL or the AFL. You just get out of here. You find a quarterback that can throw you the football. I
knew Ken just tuned in. That's why. Yeah.
You think he's ever man, maybe I should have stuck it out of Virginia.
Billy Kemp?
Yeah,
maybe.
Or maybe I should have checked out that quarterback situation a little bit.
We do this every year because it's the annual tradition of bringing in a first-year receiver.
Yeah.
You talked a little bit about it in something that'll come out later, just about the
Omar Manning. Ooh. Guys that look good in shorts. Omar Manning would have done it.
Man's got the deepest voice in America too.
Does he? I don't remember him.
He did his first media thing right before that Oklahoma game on the road.
Yeah.
And people were like, "Is this the first time I've heard Omar Manning talk?" Deep.
Like deep.
Yeah. Guy was always injured, right?
Injured a lot. I think there was a mental health thing at one point.
That is true. Yeah.
I was rooting for him. I'm glad that he finally kind of had a moment.
Okay, Travis, good point. We haven't gotten to running backs yet. Obviously, running back in 7-on-7, or even in flag, I think it's pretty obvious. You're going to go Amir.
Oh, yeah.
Because no other running back in the past quarter century catches the ball like him. Maybe Marlon Lucky. You could go there.
You could go Marlon Lucky.
Roy and Rex's game does not fit with the format that we're kind of talking
Although
about.
Rex sort of played receiver in the NFL briefly. With the Bengals, they kind of moved him to receiver.
I mean, fair, but also I thought you were making a Patriot white slot receiver guy.
No, with
reference. That's what I thought you were doing.
No.
That was Danny Amendola.
Or Wes Welker.
Or Julian Edelman.
Or
Chris Hogan. Sorry. Let me just keep rattling off a couple.
Chris Hogan was really more of an X. He was more of he broke the mold.
Whoa.
For the prototype that you're talking about.
He played lacrosse, so there's a little bit of
there's a little more athleticism there. He's not as much of a gym rat.
TK, he can't catch.
Wait, who can't catch?
I think he's talking Billy Kemp. I don't know. Oh, Rex is a glorified slot receiver. Okay, TK. Look at that.
I was going to say, he did play slot receiver for the Bengals.
Yeah. So would you go Amir or Rex?
I mean, I would go Amir. But I just wanted to make sure Rex got his credit as a pass catcher.
Yeah.
He also had a very famous pass he caught against Ohio State in the big comeback.
Very true.
Pass. Yep. Jukes a guy, goes to the end zone. He's like, "Oh, see you, bud."
You want to talk about good broadcasters? I mean, Monday night, halftime Monday Night Football, Chris Berman hitting your fastest 3 minutes. 2 minutes?
Do you want to hear my hot take?
Oh, no. Don't do this.
I don't like Chris Berman.
Oh.
How
dare you?
I think he's very bad.
What do you mean?
I think the best thing he ever did was the Longest Yard remake. That was the best broadcasting he ever did in his life.
I want to move on.
Even though I occasionally will hit you with the back. I think he sucks. I don't think he's very good.
All right.
He does have
pillar of my community, and you're going to take him down.
I don't even know if I can. I mean, I probably can share this. We're not on real. We're on the internet, so we can say whatever we want. So
you gonna swear?
No. So there's a story about Chris Berman. I don't remember if it's in the ESPN book or
the top 100 images of the past century.
No, it's somebody was telling the story about Chris Berman. Apparently, he used to go into bars around Bristol, Connecticut.
Yeah.
I'm hoping he was single at this time. I don't know what his marital status is, so I apologize if this is untoward. But
you're just spouting rumors now.
No, I mean I'm repeating a story that was told about him.
Right.
Is apparently he would go into bars, walk around, and just kind of pick a girl that was sitting with someone, or be like, "Hey, you want to come with me?" And it was a 90% success rate.
My man.
Or apparently there was one where there was a girl was wearing a leather jacket, and he goes, "You're with me, leather." She gets up and goes with him.
I mean,
me and my buddy will say "you're with me, leather" a lot, and no one knows what we're talking about.
Rico, allegedly.
Yeah, this is a story that was told.
Would he pull an Urban Meyer?
As far as I know, everything it sounded very consensual and above board.
You could actually make the whole alumni thing that we're doing, you could make like a hypothetical like rumor mill version of Nebraska where it's like Urban Meyer's the coach of your 7-on-7 team, and
Yes.
like our quarterback was Kyle McCord. We've got like all this.
Got Julian Fleming. Oh man, if we went down that route, we should do this with like Schaefer or BC or Bruntz at some point, where it's like the all-time. Who was the corner at Oklahoma? Booby something.
Booby, I know his Miles.
It wasn't Booby Miles. From
you want to win
from Permian.
Put Booby back in.
Somebody in the chat knows. Corner from Oklahoma. He was like a 5-star recruit, Nebraska. I think it was during the Riley era.
I'm not going to Google Booby on my work computer.
It wasn't Booby Feaster, Tim. That guy's still playing. It was.
I can't. I'm trying to figure out an appropriate way to Google this, and I don't really know how.
Just start Oklahoma cornerback Booby, and make sure Safe Search is on.
Cornerback. I'm getting real nervous because as soon as I type in BOOB, everything goes blank.
Oh, Bookie, not Booby.
How dare you? You're trying to get me fired. Bill was reading this. He was watching it go down. He was waiting to see me hit enter.
Bookie Radley. That's what it was.
How dare you?
I confused Bookie and Booby. What do you want me to do? I'm a big Friday Night Lights guy.
It just seems like you got other things on your mind right now.
Yeah, like West Permian, Texas, baby. Clear eyes, full hearts.
I feel like that movie is severely underrated. I don't think I love Friday Night Lights.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. Somebody brought it up in the chat yesterday as one of their favorite sports movies.
Yeah.
Like a realistic look at Texas football.
Yeah.
Texas high school football.
Yeah. I don't think it's that exaggerated. Oh, some of it is. I mean, you got who's the country guy that's in that? That plays the dad.
Oh, Tim McGraw.
Yeah.
I actually think that might be like the least exaggerated.
I think so
film.
too. I agree, but I think a lot of people outside of like that realm would be like, that's not real.
Yeah, I think the
Throws
most exaggerated
state championship ring out there.
I think the most exaggerated part was the Dallas Carter team, where they're like painted as like the biggest villains, and they're like kicking people in the face, and seems like it might be a little extra.
Well, I mean, in football terms, how do you make them a villain rather than having them pull up in like all like SUVs? You just give them all visors. That's how you know that they're the bad guys.
Yes. Chat is on fire today, Tim. Appreciate you helping me out with the Buki Radley Hiles.
Kobe says Buki coaches now.
Good for him.
Yeah. Oh, again, this hypothetical Nebraska
Haloti
team.
Ngata.
Haloti Ngata, Nebraska commit.
Yeah.
That'd be a good one.
That was a good one. Yeah.
In my hypothetical Nebraska football team, I think Bubba Starling is my quarterback.
You think so?
I think so.
I'm trying to think if there's anyone else that there was like almost quarterback. I mean, you've got.
I vividly remember going to I think it was that year's spring game. And I think he had already signed with Kansas City, right?
So
or been drafted.
He had been drafted. I think he was. I'm trying to remember because I don't think he signed until. I don't think he signed with Kansas City until the summer because the draft isn't until like June.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't have been drafted yet.
I think it was that.
He was either, probably visiting at that game.
It was either the spring game or it was the first game of the year. I remember someone had a shirt and I vividly remember seeing it. It was like, point me to the North Starling. I was like, nice. It was like, and it was a guy trying to sell like, $15 on the side or whatever. It was great.
So I remember this was a big deal for me because I used to be a big baseball nerd, still am sometimes, but depends on how the Red Sox are doing.
Oh, TK has Micah Parsons is on this.
Oh yeah,
that's that's a deep cut.
That is that's one of the that is a Friday Night Lights thing with the event that they had.
Nebraska basketball, you could do Tyrese Halbert,
but you can do Russell Westbrook for Creighton.
Oh yeah,
he was on a visit with I believe with Nick Baugh. But no, so Bubba Starling. Like everybody in the baseball world knew he was going to sign.
Yeah,
because it was like a $5
except Bo.
Yeah, it was a $5 million.
Notably not a baseball guy.
Yes, it was like a $5 million signing bonus or whatever the number was. He was playing for his hometown Kansas City Royals. There was just no way he was going to end up playing football.
Yeah,
but he showed up on campus because he was trying to leverage the Royals that he had this other option, right, to try and get the most money out of them. Literally, the only person in the free world that didn't think Bubba Starling was going to sign with the Kansas City Royals was Bo Pelini. And apparently there is a story about Bo Pelini. You're not going to believe this. When he found out that Bubba Starling was signing with the Royals, lost his mind.
What?
Just screaming.
Bo?
Yes.
Wow.
So out of character, I know. Just screaming his head off, losing his mind, freaking out. And So this story got back to, I don't know, you know who Peter Gammons is?
Yeah.
Very famous baseball media member and writer, and somebody I followed for a long time. And he like tweeted out, it was Bo Pelini really the only person on earth that didn't know that Bubba Starling was going to sign with the with the Royals? And
nobody can do
so
that.
I tweeted back at him, and I was like, yes, like he genuinely thought he was coming here. That's who Bo is. Like this is, and I got a tweet back from Peter Gammons, which was a really big moment in my life, because I was like, yes, baseball guy.
Bang.
I was like, I'm certified now. Certified baseball
I made it.
guy. I made it.
I
did. Well, that was the early Twitter days. I probably only had like 30 followers or something at the
Very
time.
nice.
Not that I have that many now, but
start from the bottom. Now we're here.
Yeah, it was a big deal. Peter Gammons tweeted at me. That's probably how I got here.
I think we need to bring that phrase back.
Started from the bottom. Now we're here.
Bottom. Now we're here. Well, obviously, Drake's still on a little sabbatical, but
yeah, I don't know. So Travis brings up a good one. Carl Crawford was going to play for Nebraska before he got to the went to the Major League Baseball draft with the Rays. I personally am glad that didn't happen, because I hate Carl Crawford from the time that he spent with the Boston Red Sox, one of the worst signings they ever made. So I was really upset about that.
Oh, geez, what are we even talking about? Joe Burrow's the quarterback. Oh
yeah,
my God.
Duh.
How can I forget? Notably Joe Burrow.
See, I actually don't know if this story's been out there.
No, do tell, please.
So,
I don't think I've heard this.
For people that don't know, Joe Burrow, when he was leaving Ohio State, actually wanted to come to Nebraska.
But why?
Well, so he's got the family connection here.
At Nebraska?
Yes, his father played here.
Well, then it should have been a slam dunk, because, Nebraska always takes back their own, right?
And also has not had, an NFL level quarterback in quite some time.
Yeah.
And
Vince Ferragamo.
I don't know if you know this, but Nebraska turned him down.
What? For who?
We're not interested. We've got Adrian Martinez.
Well, that's fair. Well, Adrian must have then finished his career with Nebraska, right?
Actually ended up at Kansas State.
You're kidding me.
I am not kidding.
You're kidding me.
No, actually, no one involved in that situation finished their career at Nebraska. I think it might be time to take a break.
No.
YouTube
user. This is a great name. YouTube user. Are you saying it was Nick Ball's fault that Chase didn't get Russell Westbrook?
No. What happened? He was actually, from what I understand, he was like ready to commit here at the last minute. UCLA, his hometown team, came in with an offer, and he committed there because he was only like a 3-star coming out of high school. He wasn't like a huge recruit. So they
the Dana Ullman days.
Yeah, back in the.
He goes, hey, Russell, we're no, there's only so many nuggets you can have here, fella.
You got to bend your knees. All right, we play defense here. You got to bend your knees. That's the only bend your knees is the only Dana Altman line I have.
Russell, woo pig.
He's like, what if I go to Arkansas? Will you follow me? Woo pig suey. He's the only Nebraska native I've ever met with a Southern accent. I don't know how it works. He's basically like Superman's parents in the new Superman movie. The Kansas people with like the Alabama accent.
Well, you just wait till we go to our 6-man game this year. You're going to be in a whole different type of Southern folk.
I can't wait. The Nebraska Southerners will be there at your 6-man, and we might do a doubleheader, 6-man, 8-man.
It'll be a lot of fun.
We'll be back. More Hurrdat Sports Live coming up next.
Yeah, they're very unselfish. We're fortunate enough to play in Mike's tournament, and we had a lot of success.
Yeah.
Obviously, we won it.
Champs.
But the important thing that came from that for me was just watching. One of the important things came just watching the kids interact with each other when things weren't going well, because that type of stuff, you can act like it's all good until you get in the games and you start getting beat, and then watching them cheer for each other. And Darian and Max and Jerron and Jermaine, and watching them all cheer for their teammates when they made good plays and stuff like that. That stuff's infectious. In a world that we can live in at times that can be very statistic driven and me driven and NLI and all that type of stuff, I was watching these guys come together as a true group of young men that want to play hard for this school.
Camp Confidential here with Omaha Westside and Coach Paul Lamanji. Coach, thanks for taking the time and thanks for letting us, do this with your team. How's camp been so far, I guess, in 2 days?
Yeah, 2 days in, I think it's going pretty well. Finishing up the second day, I thought we got better than we were yesterday. The first couple days, you're in helmets, you're kind of just moving around, doing some basic fundamentals. Tomorrow we go half rack, so you're kind of picking it up a little bit. And then, Friday is when football truly starts. So, we're right where we need to be. We just got to keep working, getting better every day, and see what happens.
Coach, we've asked your other players that we talked to earlier just about the motivation coming off of the state championship finish last year. But, I mean, you yourself, personally, you're probably pretty amped up to try to get back there, too, yourself, just with your story and what happened last November.
Yeah, it was a weird finish. Going back towards November, I thought we were playing really good football. And then, some things happened there at the end. And I had to sit out that last game. But
aspirations can drive us. Sometimes a simple gesture is what fuels the pursuit of a dream. When it's time to make your dream a reality, we are here to help. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's awesome. I'm Ravi here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. DB will be joining us when he is done with practice, and reminding you, hopefully DB's wearing his seatbelt on his way over here. And you got to make it click. I'm sure he is, because it prevents injuries and saves lives, but only when worn properly. This message from the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
All right, now I'm mad at chat.
What did chat do?
You see TK in here?
No, what did he say?
We couldn't get chairs that don't make AJ and Sauter look like they're 7 years old. What does that mean? I just lean forward.
Not like Fat Joe, not leaning back.
All right, jeez. Lean back.
Nope.
Lean back.
I was like, there's a lot of that song.
What do you mean?
You cannot sing unless you're the
Me?
manager of the Phillies.
Oh, okay.
Now that's a callback.
That's a good one. That was good. Man, you're really good. You're getting really good at the broadcasting.
Hey, thanks. Coming up on the show today, we're going to talk to the voice of Akron football, David Skoczen. He's going to join us at 8 o'clock. Then, of course, at 8:45, we've got our regular Brian Edwards, our Vegas insider from Major Wager. Then Michael Bruntz, Husker 24/7 at 9, and Louie Vaccher from the Wildcat Report to preview Northwestern as we continue working our way through Nebraska's schedule.
Full day.
It is a full day. It's a full day, a full lid as they call it sometimes. And I'm glad we spent all that time talking about Bubba Starling.
Yes. Which game are you?
Time well spent.
Right. Yeah. Which game are you more excited for, Akron or Northwestern? Which has a bigger chance of impacting Nebraska's season?
I mean, probably Northwestern, just from the Big conference game standpoint. Right. Yeah. It's
you kind of look at them kind of the same way, though, right?
Yeah.
There's a high probability we are completely undervaluing Northwestern per usual. This is the annual tradition of doing so.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, they're games. They're very similar games in the sense that Nebraska absolutely unequivocally has to win. Yeah. And it shouldn't be that close.
Yeah. They're 100%ers. Yeah.
Those are games that if Nebraska is anything close to what we want them to be, those are absolute have to be W's. So, I mean, they're similar in that sense. They're games that I'm not particularly worried about. If something happens where, those games are more competitive than they should be, or that Nebraska, heaven forbid, ends up losing one of those games, then to me, it's one of those like, well, we just have to flush everything we thought we knew about this team.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Fair.
So,
and it's the trap game level. Like those two.
I mean, not even really. I mean, for Akron, not really. I don't think because
you don't think so. Big win in Kansas City. They're riding high off of Arrowhead. Everyone's patting their back. They're getting top 25 votes. Maybe they're peaking in. Maybe they are in. And you don't think Akron, a little bit of a letdown? First night game at Memorial?
I don't think so. I think the first home game, like, it's not going to be a letdown. I'm not too worried about it. I feel okay there. Now, let me look at where.
But you could see a potential where they could start slow. You don't think that it's a game that like?
I think it helps that the Cincinnati game's on Thursday.
Okay,
so you can
a little extra time.
A couple extra days to
that's fair.
To flush it and move on, and almost look at.
Honestly, a little extra time for Matt Rule to point out all the flaws on the team still.
If it were me, like I would almost view Akron as like the season opener.
Okay.
Obviously you have to gear up for Cincinnati, but like once Cincinnati's over, I'd almost restart it the way I'd be like, hey, this is like it's the home opener. We're refocusing on this, not even like so that's how I would kind of look at it. The one for me, so Northwestern in the schedule is kind of in a tricky spot.
Yeah.
Because you go at Minnesota.
You're talking like trap game potential, what you're saying, or what?
Yeah, well, it's either trap game or just like it's in a trickier stretch, right? Yeah. So you go at Minnesota, Northwestern at home, USC at home.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, USC is a game that I think they can potentially lose. Minnesota's a game that DB's been worried about, kind of like all offseason, just at Minnesota on a Friday night. Nebraska struggled both against Minnesota and at Minnesota.
Yeah,
that's a tough game. So you look at that there, that could be an easy one to go, okay, hey, we got over the Minnesota hump, got that W. We got USC in a couple weeks here. We just got to get past Northwestern. That, to me, more than anything, Northwestern is more of in a spot where it could be problematic.
Alternatively, it could also be the ultimate reset game, too.
Sure.
Depending on where the season has gone or is at that time. That Northwestern game could come at the absolute right time that Nebraska needs a team that is...
Could be a get-right game.
Yeah, completely reeling if expectations set where both teams, are expected to be going.
I mean, if DB's right and that at Minnesota game is tricky for Nebraska, and let's say that, they come up with a loss, like Northwestern could be a get-right game for them.
And especially then leading into the USC game, I don't think you overlook both Minnesota and Northwestern peeking ahead to USC. I just don't see that. For this year's version of the Huskers.
I don't either. I think that and I think that's going to be something that this coaching staff is good at, is kind of keeping that from happening.
Yeah.
But that's obviously not something we'll be able to figure out yet. But
so, I mean, if you went back and looked at last year's schedule where we were a year ago at this time and you were like, okay, where's the trap game there? I think a lot of people would have pointed at some different stuff, right? But this year, can you look to see like what would be that game? I mean, the way you just put it, the Northwestern game sticks out. UCLA is a big one too because it's a road game as well. But Michigan State after Michigan, depending if that Michigan game goes the way that you and I think that it will, Michigan State is kind of the ultimate one because you're back at home the week after. You don't have to hit the road. You're comfortable and you're feeling really good about yourself because then everyone is singing your praises. If the season goes the first 4 weeks like it's like
especially if you beat Michigan,
and you're 4-0 riding in that. I mean, you're talking about like probably a top 15 Huskers.
Yeah.
And then you get a Big Ten Michigan State team to roll in.
Yeah, that's the Michigan State game is maybe situationally one of the worst spots on the schedule.
Yeah.
Or I mean, it's also an opportunity to be like, no, this wasn't a fluke. Like this is who we are.
Yep.
Right. So you can look at it either way. Last year, the one that I looked at as a tricky spot was at Indiana, even before we thought Indiana was good.
Right.
Just because I thought they were going to have an opportunity to be. What,
6-0
at that, or 5-0 going into that game?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 6-0 going into that game. Obviously, they lost the Illinois game, but I thought they could be 6-0 going into that game and have an opportunity to be playing Ohio State, on national TV. Mm-hmm. Game day might be here, that type of thing. Indiana looked like one where I go, I don't know about that. But obviously, it ended up being a problem for other reasons, that Indiana was just really good at football.
Was good, yes.
And Nebraska stubbed their toe on that one anyway, which again, they still may have been like that still may have been a game where they weren't totally focused on Indiana the way they needed to be. I mean, I wouldn't know without talking to them about it specifically, but it is like, that's the one I would have pointed to last year, is at Indiana, where I go, that one I don't love where it sets up in the schedule. That's probably Michigan State this year, but it's a little better since it's at home.
Yeah.
Right. You're looking at it and you go, home game, not as daunting as going on the road. Like if Minnesota came after Michigan, I'd be way more worried. Like that would be almost a worst case sscenario.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. And I mean, a lot of people would also say like the Maryland games, like trap game, because like, again, it's all in the perspective of where is Nebraska at that point in the season. Because if they're 5-0 after Michigan State, okay, any game after that is going to be labeled a trap game.
Yeah.
Every single game following until they would all, their first loss comes.
But they can't all be trap games.
They can't all be.
You
trap
know what
games,
I mean?
right.
Like, we're gonna view it that way. You're probably right. But if Nebraska gets off to a hot start, I don't even think it's a trap game. We're just waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Well, and how much further can you look forward to? Because if Nebraska's 7-0, are they looking too forward to Penn State? No, it's 3 weeks away.
Yeah,
they have plenty of time.
I do think that stretch, though, we've talked about this before, Michigan at Maryland at Minnesota Northwestern, that is, to me, one of the key stretches of their season, because that will tell us, are they past this thing where they keep playing around with teams that they feel like they should be better than, right?
Yeah, you had that big argument earlier this year about, can Nebraska surpass the middle?
Yeah.
That's where you got to pass the middle.
Yeah, that is literally the middle. Like, those are the teams you have to pass to be who you want to be. So that's a key stretch for them this season. We're going to talk a little Akron football to preview the season coming up next.
It was something really special that just knowing that all my teammates just welcomed me in. And it's a true brotherhood here, and they saw what I came in and did and just went straight to work, and I feel like everybody on the team just respected that. And to know that my teammates have my back and they respect me so much, it's just, there's no greater feeling.
You wore 6 at Kentucky, right?
Yes.
Is there a special reason for 6?
No, when I first got there, that was the number that I kind of wanted. They asked me if I wanted a specific number when I got there, and number 2 was open, and that's what my brother wore all of college. But I kind of just told them I kind of wanted to have my own path, and so that's the number that I picked.
A successful financial future is built one coin at a time. Whether you're just starting out or a seasoned saver, we've got the financial resources and team of experts who will be with you every step of the way. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
He said it pretty early on that there's going to be a great system I'm not going to get forced into doing anything I'm not comfortable with, and it really fitted my skill set. And, overall, it's the coach and the people in the program that make the program what it is, so that just told me this was the place to be.
Can you describe a little bit about that process? Coach X said that he had his eye on you for a while at Pro Kick. How does that work in Australia? Do you know where you're being matched before the end, and just like what was that process like for you to then end up matched here?
Yeah, to be honest, if I'm at Pro Kick practicing, you really don't know where you're going until you know the school. And there's a couple of cases where some people would have a school and then it would fall through, but Coach Eckler, to my belief, is the only coach who would see me kick, and I think that Pro Kick knew that his coaching and his style was the right skill set for me, and then they kind of worked it out a fair bit behind my back, and then Coach John Smith just came up to me one morning and was like, "Hey Archie, you're going to Nebraska?" And I was like, "Cool."
When you think about it, last year is in the SEC. 14 of 16 punters in the SEC came from Australia, from Pro Kick. And I've known Johnny, who runs Pro Kick, for 22 years. Years ago, we had one at LSU. We had one at North Carolina. So, I've been a part of having a bunch of Australian punters. None of those guys have played a game of football. They may have played professionally, like the last one I had, Jackson Ross played professionally for a handful of years, Australian rules football, but none of them have played American football. So I don't worry about it. And truly, I mean, I've been through this. It's not my first rodeo. So, being able to take all that, the information and all the training from my past and how we've trained Archie, I mean, I'm beyond confident with him.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Yeah, it sure as hell beats going to Columbus. So that's a positive. But yeah, I mean, Wyoming's a great program. They've played a certain style of football for a very long time. Run the ball, play action, physical on defense, play great special teams. But at the end of the day, going into your opener, knowing that you prepare well, call the game right, and the kids execute, that you have a puncher's chance of winning it, which hasn't been the case. So I think that's the most exciting aspect of it.
We're back here on Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DBM Ravi, Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We are joined now by the voice of Akron football, David Skoczen. David, how are you this morning? Oh, I think you're on mute. Uh-oh. Shane, is that us? Is that on our side?
We're good on this side.
Uh-oh. We got nothing on audio here.
We won't panic.
Shane, let's try and give him a call.
Okay.
All righty. We'll be joined by David here in just a second. Looks like we're having some technical issues with the stream, but going to preview Akron football as we go through Nebraska's schedule here. I have a weird affinity for Joe Moorhead.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
I think we thought the Mississippi State was going to be like this home run deal.
I thought it was a good hire at the time.
And it just didn't pan out for whatever the reason. But, I mean, I go back and forth on it.
Yeah, like there's times where I've really enjoyed him as an offensive coordinator and thought he did really well at Penn State. I don't know if I thought he got a raw deal at Mississippi State. It seems like that's just a really hard job that not very many people do well at, and kind of makes you appreciate Dan Mullen a little bit, I guess.
All right, we have our guest.
We're joined now by David Skoczen, the voice of Akron football. David, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing good. Can you hear me?
Yep. Good morning to you. Good morning.
So we were kind of just talking here about Joe Moorhead. I sort of have a strange affinity for him. I thought he did well as an offensive coordinator at his different stops. And, the Mississippi State thing is always kind of weird because I don't know what to make of Mississippi State. But I guess I'll start with this. How is Joe Moorhead going into year 4 received currently at Akron?
Well, I think it helps that they won their last 2 games this past year, and they can say, well, 3 of the last 5. Man,
it's been tough.
The problem is the bar's pretty low.
Yeah.
Right. So you came off of, we had Terry Bowden here 7 years and won a bowl game and beat Northwestern his last season, but he had a rough ending. And then the following year with a different coach, Tom Arth, who is now like a quarterbacks coach in the NFL, they went 0-12, which they had never had a winless season in the history of Akron football. And so from there, I mean, they had not won more than 2 games in a year until last season when they won 4 times, right? So yeah, I mean, we all want to believe, but the problem is, jaded isn't the word. I think it's just sort of, it's tough, man. I mean, people that are sticking with this program and following it have seen a lot of tough losses and a lot of bad football, frankly, over the last several years. And so it's like, yeah, well, we want to think they're going to build on winning 4 games last year, but it's still just, we'll believe it when we see it. I think it's probably the best way to put it.
That's interesting, David, too, because you always want to have this off-season optimism and you want to believe in upward trajectory, right? Just being naturally positive. But at the end of the day, how much of it is that you feel like you're fighting against what always has been versus what you and your fan base may think what could be?
I think that is exactly what's happening. And, I mean, we can go back to, I mentioned Terry Bowden won a bowl game. J.D. Brookhart, with Joe Moorhead on the staff 20 years ago, they won the MAC championship, right, and advanced to another bowl game. But, I mean, if you really look at since this program went from whatever it was at the time, 1AA or whatever, up to the FBS level, there hasn't been a ton of success. And so I think the narrative in town, which is really unfortunate, is, it's the Zips. Like, basketball is great. We've been to the NCAA tournament 3 of the last 4 years, but there really isn't an expectation for this team. And we got a stadium that's now pushing 20 years old, but we built a new stadium that opened in 2008. The Zips have not beaten a non-conference FBS opponent in this new stadium. At the Rubber Bowl, yes, but so I mean, there's all those sorts of stats and things like that, but it's just a myriad of reasons for. Yeah, we'd all love to be optimistic, but I think what you need to have happen is have a legit, hey, they're going to go out, win 6, 7, 8 games, make a little bit of a splash, and beat some multiple quality opponents, and then you start to turn that around. But it also needs to happen more than once, right? Like, that needs to be 2, 3, 4 years in a row. Now you're going to have some buzz around this program. But they got a big hole to dig out of PR-wise, I think, overall.
David, so moving from kind of the perception to what the reality of this football team is, as you've seen other teams come in from the MAC and you've seen other FBS teams come in that, as you mentioned, they haven't been able to get a win at home against any of those. Like, what do you feel like the gap is between Akron and being competitive in the MAC?
I believe continuity, which is really tough right now, right? I would assume that Nebraska has a lot more NIL money than Akron, right? Like, you're able to hold on to some guys that Akron would never be able to. I think I'm hopeful that some of that starts to balance out, because there are a few guys that went into the transfer portal off of Akron's roster last year and didn't end up anywhere else. I mean, you kind of look at it, it's like, well, I'm not playing at Akron. Well, you're not playing at Akron. Like, who's going to go give you whatever amount of money you want? I mean, there's a reality to that. But the truth is, for a lot of those guys, even if they've had success within Akron's program, staying with a coaching staff for another year or maybe another couple of years can help you develop. It really does. And I think, I've already mentioned basketball, but that is the absolute truth on the basketball side. Akron had the MAC Player of the Year, a guy named Nate Johnson. He went through 3 years here. He really developed with that coaching staff. Well, he went out and got paid. I'm sure he went to Kansas State. Good for him. Great. And that's the world of sports that we live in. But I think that's the biggest obstacle is you're not retaining enough guys from year to year. Now, that being said, starting quarterback is back. Ben Finley, he started every game last year. He'd been in 2 Power 4 programs before coming here. And it's the first time in about 8 years that Akron has a quarterback coming back who started every game the previous year. So I think that's going to go a long way because he knows the system. He knows most of the receivers, things like that. So now I've talked for 5 minutes, but the short answer is continuity.
Where would you start? Where you think you could maybe have a set apart, a set aside, or be different? We've seen a lot of teams in the MAC do it different ways. Obviously Toledo's chosen offense and pace, and we've seen Miami of Ohio try to do it with the trenches, or Northern. Like, teams have done it a different way. If you're Akron and you want some sort of repeat sustainability, where would you start in terms of an identity?
I think they have it for anybody that's been watching, but the issue has been they haven't had the personnel to execute, and that's the creativity that Joe Moorhead brings to the table. I mean, you watch the beginning of a game, and there's some kind of crazy play or something going on, and I mean, they're going to go out and try and punk you. I don't want to make it sound thuggish or anything, but that's the truth. It's like, hey, we've got this. We've been working on this. If they can pull off those types of plays, build a little bit of a lead, anything can happen within the conference. But then even against, we got Wyoming coming in. We're going to UAB. I don't know about the Nebraska thing, but like any time that you can put any kind of a doubt in the other team's mind. But I think the signature to get there are the things that Moorhead designed. But again, watching this team since he's been here, He probably just hasn't had the right guys to execute the way that he draws everything up.
David, it's interesting as I'm thinking about Akron and where they kind of fit in the college football world. As they're obviously in a very football rich and talented area, and they're kind of a couple tiers down in sort of hierarchy there. But I think about teams in other places that we think of the same way, whether it's like a Florida or a Texas, and we go, oh, there's plenty of talent to go around. So like the UCFs and USFs of the world, they're in good shape. Do you feel like that opportunity exists for like an Akron in the Ohio, Pennsylvania area, or is it just a totally different dynamic?
I think it does exist. I think interestingly, though, since you brought in Coach Moorhead, we don't have a lot of proportionally. Okay, I mean we got plenty of guys from Ohio, but not a ton. Like they're from everywhere else, but that's because of, like you said, Moorhead's been at Mississippi State, he's been at Penn State, he's been at Oregon, he's been all over the place. So he's got all these different channels to work and try to get guys here, and that's what you're seeing now within the spectrum of the MAC. Is Akron going to win a recruiting battle right now against Toledo or Miami, or even we got Northern Illinois for 1 year? I mean, maybe, because they're really out in the cornfields, like North DeKalb.
Bandit DeKalb a couple of times. Yeah, I got good buddies that coached out there and players out there.
Yeah, it's a cool little town, but it's still like you're in an hour from Chicago, whatever. But you're right. But my point is, they're not regarded even within the conference as that type of destination. But you start to be over 500 for a couple of years. I think that can really change. And then you come back and you can tap into the talent more on the local level. But again, our roster right now is a lot of guys from a lot of other places, but you do what you got to do and let's see if it works.
What's been the motivating factor with the academics and the bowl sanction in the off season to keep this team dialed for what's coming in this upcoming season?
I think what has surprised some of us is the number of guys that have stayed in spite of that. And I know I just said a few minutes ago, well, where are you going to go? And there's an element of truth to that. But I think what it speaks to is the way that Moorhead and his staff are handling things, right? There's got to be something there that these players, these student athletes appreciate, right? That they feel like they are learning something. One of the stats that Moorhead throws out there is the dollar amount that players that he has coached have made in the pros, right? Like, I don't know what, it's 30-some million dollars, like guys that have played for him have, I mean, I'm sure it's an updated number now, but that's one of the things he talked about when he was here. So the dude knows what he's doing. And I think that's really the mantra of, look, okay, we're not going to play in a bowl game, but can we go win 8 games? Why not? It's still a MAC. Like, anything can happen in this conference, and they've certainly had a lot of close games over the last few years. But I think if you're Moorhead, he's got to be playing into stay here and you're going to learn something. You're going to be better because of it, because you went through our system and you stayed another year.
David, I'm always a little curious about sort of how, obviously in Nebraska and sort of in Big Ten country, we view the happenings of college football in a certain way with NIL and transfer portal and the House settlement, all of this. As you're sitting at Akron in the MAC, like how is the administration and the coaching staff sort of feeling like the new rules that have been set in place are affecting Akron compared to, people like right up the road from you, like a Cincinnati or an Ohio State even?
Well, I think, and it's interesting, you mentioned Ohio State, like when all of this has happened, they're talking about cutting sports, right? Because they need to be able to afford to disseminate money to the student athletes, even in the Olympic sports. Akron is in a very different position institutionally. It has not bounced back as well from the pandemic as an Ohio State or, I don't know, Cincinnati situation, but the enrollment isn't what it was 10, 15, 20 years ago. So there are budgetary issues, and we just had an athletic director change in the last 8 or 9 months, and the guy that left, he had to make a lot of decisions and cut a lot of things. And I know Coach Moorhead off the record, sometimes on the record, wasn't really happy about some of the things that were taken away from the football program. So, when you talk anything financial, let alone the NIL piece, Akron is functioning in a very different place than what I would assume is the case for a lot of the Power 5 schools. But it all comes back to the scene of the academic world, right?
Yeah.
And all right, you're going to go get a degree from a Mid-American Conference school, and it's $100,000 to go there for 4 years if you're living on campus. There's realities to that, and within society, especially in this part of the Midwest, that's changed the scene quite a bit. But I think now that there's a fresh start, a new athletic director, so there's a little different vibe, but there's still the reality of there's a limited amount of resources for the program in general. That's just how it is right now.
That is David Skoczen, the voice of the Akron Zips. David, we appreciate the time, and we hope to see you while you're in Lincoln.
Look me up, man. I'll be there for 24 hours probably, at least.
I'll be in the booth right next to you handling the color, so I'll come say hello.
All right. Sounds good, man.
You
Thank
got
you.
it.
That's David Skoczen, voice of the Akron Zips. Appreciate his time joining us here this morning. I do kind of find I know we only talked a little bit about this specific football team. I do find the kind of realities of mid-major sports in today's age really fascinating, right? Because we don't, as Nebraska Big Ten people, we don't think about that a ton, the way it filters down to an Akron, right? And maybe we shouldn't. Maybe in the long grand scheme of things, it's not going to matter that much. But I like TK says in the chat, MACTion's the purest form of football. There are a lot of people that like MAC football a lot, and it's sort of like a part of their life. So I do wonder moving forward, just what that looks like.
TK's not telling the truth.
No, but
I get what he's saying.
Yeah, there is an affinity for the Macs of the world. Whether it's from Frank Solich in Ohio and all that.
Go watch Toledo. That is not the purest form of football.
No, but I do think a lot of people enjoy it.
No, that's different though.
No, for sure. I think he's being.
It's not even the same thing.
I think he's being in jest a little bit there.
Well, now if you just said, "Hey, TK said a lot of people like the Mac," I'd say, "Okay."
Yeah.
Well, we're talking about that. We're talking purist and whether people like it or not. There's nothing pure about what's going on in the MAC for the most part. And if it's pure, quote unquote, with whatever that means, then you're probably not very good.
Yeah.
Because you can't play it that way and have success. You got to do something.
Play
different.
A little gimmicky to try and get some wins, which I think is one of the things people like. I think they like sort of the different styles and things like that. But I do
when they watch Toledo beat Kentucky in week 1, they'll understand.
Yeah. That'll be and then I wonder, but then Kentucky will be used to prop up the SEC later. Be like, oh, it's such a tough schedule. They had to go play Toledo.
Well, that depleted staff. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to get on the whole Kentucky thing, but lost some good coaches, really good coaches.
Yeah, we appreciate them sending one of them over here.
Yeah,
take one of their wide receivers too. Not bad.
I mean, the conference is plenty good to watch. I mean, Miami of Ohio is going to be a handful. And their openers, we watched what NIU did to
Notre Dame last year, yeah.
And I'm a little biased when it comes to NIU just because he sent a lot of good players there.
That's where Jackson was, right?
Dan Jackson was there.
Was that Ducker went there?
Ducker went there.
Had a nice
Haberman was there.
Yep.
So I mean, they've got guys. So I like the conference, but I'll move on from the whole pure thing. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I think that's fair. No, I do wonder what it looks like moving forward for MACTion and all that, but I think that's a topic for another day. How are you feeling?
I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good. Went through that stretch where you just got to reset your voice a little bit. It gets stretched out. It's like everything else, but we're good. Got rained on pretty good.
I didn't even realize it was raining until I walked out of my house. And I was like, oh, there's a lot going on here.
Yeah, it started about 5. I think whistle blew at 5:25. We're probably about 5-6 minutes in.
Yeah. So pretty much the whole practice.
Steady Eddie.
Yeah.
It lightened up about the last 4. Interestingly enough, it lightened up for defense.
That ain't wet.
I don't know.
Lighten up for defense a little bit for you there.
Keep the offense having to handle wet balls and stuff. We always play 1 or 2 games in the rain.
Yeah.
We opened with North a year ago and it rained. We had a delay. So.
Yeah, I remember that because they moved the time and then
we tried
got
to
delayed
beat
in the middle and
yeah. And then it poured after, so we were going to be in trouble regardless. We did the best we could.
Can't win for losing.
I did my best.
I do think it is a little funny because I've been through the first like 2 weeks of practice where you're like, man, my voice is just not where it needs to be right now.
I don't know what it is. It's almost like your cords need
a little conditioning, you know?
Yeah, and I'm not even
You're not a big yeller.
No, not at all.
I wasn't either.
You've seen it.
Yeah, like I watched the way you interact with guys. I think you're just talking so much. You know?
One of my players, I was walking off the field, and he came from behind, he put his arm around me, and he goes, we kind of think you're crazy, right?
You talking to me?
I'm like, really?
Seems unnecessary.
Or true.
I think I have some audio from you from that day, or from when you're talking to him.
Giving you the best that I got, baby. Yeah, maybe. I might come by it, honestly. Just having a moment.
Yeah. Listen, sometimes you just got to sing. It's all good.
So I'm to the point now with football, whether it's high school or college or the pros, it's weird because you get your palate just a little bit moist.
Yeah.
And I want that thing all the way
and
wet.
then you're like,
man.
I need games.
Like, are there games
I need
on
games.
today?
Yeah.
Whether I don't care if it's preseason.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I
need games now.
I do feel like there's about and you're right. We're right about that time. We're 2 weeks in, so the initial excitement of practice starting is worn off.
You've seen a little preseason.
Saw a little open practice, and then we're still a week away from game week, right? So it's this sort of third week of preseason where everything sort of feels like it sort of grinds to a halt, and you're just like, I need some actual football to be played.
I need that.
I need different colored jerseys to go after each other.
I'm like,
we got to do something else.
I'm ready to do something different.
Yeah.
Yeah, like watch. I've done the whole show thing, man. I'm ready for sports.
Yeah. Well, we're almost there.
Anything other than watching the Dodgers get swept.
If it makes you feel any better, the Red Sox lost last night.
What's funny too is I got these guys. I got to tell Matt, like, I'm not that guy. Don't send me any broom gifts.
No, DeMarinis?
No.
Oh.
Different, Matt.
Okay.
Like, if I look out for you, don't be that dude.
Yeah, I'm not a talk trash to your friends guy.
Let's not act like I don't know.
Yeah.
I clearly follow my teams. I'm aware. I don't need you to tell me.
Yeah.
So keep it pushing. Now that the Fathers are in first place, how about that? You blinked.
And there they are.
They're going to be a menace.
You tried to warn me. You did.
It's going to be a menace.
They're pretty good. They went all in.
That roster's sensational.
Yeah.
I think they've got like 5 in a row now, too. Dodgers can't beat the Angels, which, I don't know. Is it worse taking it on the chin to little brothers down the street or the no-cow bullies? Oh, no, neither's good. But San Francisco's taking a turn for the proverbial.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trade deadline did not do them any favors.
Well,
no, you're exactly right.
Speaking of trade deadline, I think the city of Minnesota might revolt, or the state of Minnesota might revolt.
Yeah, not a lot good's going on, is it?
I mean,
how about them staying on with the ownership group?
So that's what I mean. Like, that might be one of the most nefarious seeming things I've seen in a while in sports.
It'd have been different if you were.
Yeah, it's like we're clearing the books to sell.
Yeah.
Right. And I think everybody understood that. And they're like, okay, just get rid of the team. We hate you. Leave. And then they're like, just kidding. We were clearing the books because we're cheap.
Yep.
We're keeping the franchise. Screw you.
That is tough.
Like, that is a tough look. I know several Twins fans in my life besides BC, and I feel for them. Like, they're very angry right now.
You wanna play a little Jeopardy?
Yeah, always.
I will give you a chance.
Okay.
To win all of your $80 back.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Name me 4 guys in the Milwaukee Brewers batting lineup.
Christian Yelich. That's all I got.
Isn't that crazy?
That's all I got.
$10.
Yeah.
If you can tell me how many in a row they've won.
Get up! Is it 8?
You pay me if the next number isn't right.
I'm not paying you.
Can I take that? Because I know.
Yeah, I'll give you one more shot at it.
Higher or lower?
I'm not telling you.
12.
Wow. I'm still plus 70.
He's done it
12 in a row.
again.
That's crazy.
No, what's crazy is you got it.
Well, 12 is my favorite number, so I just guessed it.
12 in a row. Oh, because your birthday?
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
12 in a row for that team.
Wild.
And he's funny. I mean, when he's not eating hot dogs and bread out of his pocket.
10, 11, 12.
Like real time, in game. And the in-game interview, he asked her if she wanted some. He pulled the bread out of his back pocket, and she bit off of
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. No.
I'm like, is that the same quirky dude that brought ASU to the World Series? Like, Murphy's out there, and they just keep winning.
There's a 0% chance I'm eating bread out of somebody's pocket.
Yeah. And it was folded. He took it out like a wallet. Hey, you want some?
It wasn't like in anything. It was just.
No, it was in his hands.
No, but I mean, like, it wasn't like wrapped.
No,
It was just like plain bread.
You want some? And she's like, yeah, sure. She's
Yeah.
like, okay, not.
No, absolutely not. I'm not biting bread out of somebody's pocket.
That happened.
That's wild. Unbelievable.
I just don't understand how they keep developing pitching.
Yeah. I mean, it feels a lot like the Rays from a decade ago.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, they traded away Chris Archer. That's weird. Oh, nope, they got another one. Don't worry about it.
I get it. I mean, Peralta and Woodruff at the top is pretty good, but I hope they're peaking too early.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
That's a real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a real thing.
And
I've seen it.
Meanwhile, the Dodgers can kind of
just
get by.
Scuttle along until they can figure it out.
Piece that staff together.
Pray that somebody gets healthy.
Yeah. It's going to be tough.
You see Dustin May had a good start yesterday?
I told you, first time through, he's good.
They got 6 out of him, so they got him a couple times through.
He's capable.
Yeah.
He's capable.
Yeah,
he's got really good stuff.
No, his stuff is incredible.
Yeah.
Like, he ends up on Pitching Ninja like every time he pitches.
Yeah, it's just when he gets touched, it usually gets turned all the way around.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like all the way around.
Yeah, not trying.
He's pitching a little bit different ballpark too.
Yeah, Fenway can be a little tricky for certain folks. Not always super kind.
Pretty disappointed. That's fine. Guess I'll just wait for preseason.
Oh, it's wonderful.
It's tomorrow, not tonight, as we learned yesterday.
I'm trying.
You got one more day. You can do it.
So the biggest surprise in sports, I told you,
like Wilson Phillips,
I
almost for one more day.
I almost said this in the group chat, but if Trevor Lawrence turns it around and goes 30-9 touchdowns to INTs,
yeah,
which Ravi's gonna be worse? 10-win Nebraska Ravi or Trevor Lawrence being a functional good quarterback Ravi?
Absolutely, 10-win Nebraska Ravi's gonna be worse. Absolutely, because the Trevor Lawrence thing is. I don't care that much about the production because that's never been my argument.
I understand.
Right? So it's like, okay, that's cool, but Sam Darnold had a great year last year, right? Like, that's a super talented guy. He put up good numbers. Like, that doesn't, the Trevor Lawrence thing doesn't matter to me as much. And for as much as you guys give me a hard time about it, I haven't taken nearly as much.
I don't.
So the rest of the sports team has given me, Avery specifically, has given me a very hard time about the Trevor Lawrence thing. She won't let it die. She can't get over it. But she
what the F are you doing?
She brought it up again last week.
Yeah,
she brought it up again last week.
Did she mishear you?
No.
Or she just needling you?
She just keeps bringing it up.
And I'm like,
anytime I have a sports take she doesn't like, she brings up Trevor Lawrence. And she's like, well, we can't trust this guy.
Have you been are you on a run of bad sports takes?
No, I was talking with, out at Pinnacle, I was talking with Kenny about receivers, and which obviously he's got more expertise there.
What would K Bell know about receivers?
Well, a little bit more than I do probably. But he was making this argument. He thinks that Jerry Rice is overrated. And I know you are a little closer to that side than to my side. But my point was,
that's funny.
So he was like, hey, Randy Moss is more talented. I was like, yes, he's more talented. Jerry Rice had a better career. I don't know what to tell you. They're different things. Like, Randy Moss is probably one of the most talented receivers the league's ever seen. I'm going to put Calvin Johnson in that neighborhood as well, just in terms of pure talent. But Jerry Rice had a better career than all of them. That's undeniable. He had the best receiving career of all time.
That was a very contentious show too.
Yeah, because I love Jerry Rice. I understand that's a blind spot. I love Jerry Rice.
And in my head, I was like, no, Rice is great. There's no question.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not even going to fight you over the best career ever.
Yeah.
But and I'll make this case.
But if you're taking a guy,
I'll make the case today. You're starting a team tomorrow. You're taking Moss.
Do I need 1 year or 10 years? That's my question. Do I need 1 year or 10 years?
You don't get the benefit of watching the career. I'm just telling you.
If I'm like at a combine, I'm taking Moss.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. He's more talented.
And it's not even, but you're
It's not that close. I understand that.
Yeah, it's not even like a deal where
there's like a
I'm
dozen
saying,
guys that I would take before Jerry Rice in a draft if I don't know what their careers look like.
But you got to hear my heart. It's not like Jerry Rice was like you look at this guy and you're thinking, oh, he can't play.
No.
I mean, he's still arguably one of the greatest route runners of all time.
Incredible. Yeah.
Right? His hands, incredible. Like
Yeah.
he's
Really,
gonna
really good.
show well. So I'm not making it seem like you're choosing between Carl Lewis and Rick Dempsey in a race. Like,
but he's not going to go 4-2, and he's not going to look.
I
like
don't
Randy.
even think that's what you would love about Moss in a workout. I like you're doing the easy comp. I don't care where you come from or what the testing is, or like Moss was really, really good, and he was more than just fast.
No, he had great ball skills.
So, like, I think
really good with the ball in his hands.
When you're kind of flippant like that, it's almost like, well, yeah, you take the taller, fast guy, but Moss was way more than that.
No, he's very, very good.
Yeah.
At everything you would want a receiver to do. Now, for a lot of his career, he was only asked to, just run past that guy. So I get that. But there's nothing on a football field that.
I mean, because for a guy that wasn't supposed to be that fast, Rice got vertical quite a bit.
He did, yeah. Because I think he had to stay honest on a lot of other stuff underneath, which helped him. But like if you listen to like Jason Williams, he'll tell you that Randy Moss could have been an all-pro punter. Like he'll tell you, like he's
White Chocolate J will.
Yeah. The guy
you
he played high school with, right?
Yeah.
So like I don't think there's anything on a football field that I could ask Randy Moss to do that he wouldn't be good at, right? Like I'm not denying the talent outside of the athletic traits. And there's probably, like I said, there's probably a dozen guys you take over Rice, even with Rice being talented.
I don't know if I would go with overrated, but I get what he's saying if he sat me down.
Yeah, I mean,
he could hold my attention a lot longer than he probably could yours.
Well, listen, it's because the arguments are just different. I'm not even going to argue that he's more talented than.
Is that what he said?
Well, so when I said he's the greatest receiver,
because that's too easy.
Well, so I say greatest receiver of all time, and then he goes Randy Moss, whatever, and he like named a bunch of other dudes, and I was like, listen, what are we talking about? Are we talking about talent or career? Because career is undeniable, but talent, like, yeah, there's guys that are better than Jerry Rice. That's fine. I'm okay with that. Like, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah. There can be better players, but not a better career.
Yeah, no one's had a better career than Jerry Rice.
Yeah.
Like that, I don't even know how you argue that.
Well, you can't.
Right. Like it's just the most ridiculous thing of all time.
But I do think there are better receivers.
I agree that there's been better receivers than Jerry Rice. I would not argue with that. And Randy Moss is one of them.
Interesting.
He's a good ball player.
Might have been too easy.
Well, listen, I've grown in my old age, you know. Now I'm
ripe old age of 37.
38 now, thank you.
I was 30. I was today years old when I was self-aware.
I'm firmly into my late 30s now, and I'm learning things about myself. You know, we're trying to get some maturity going here.
Didn't Rice cook Dion multiple times? I mean, sure.
I mean, Rice cooked everybody multiple times. Like that's just kind of what it is. And also, that's kind of the nature of being a defensive back. Like that just is what it is.
Right.
I'm not like I don't know. This Funky Giblet says I'm taking Wayne Corbett.
Shrebbit. Shrebbit.
I used to say it Sherbert.
Me too.
Wayne Sherbert.
Yeah. So Corbett's parents must have come along during whole language.
Oh.
Because phonics get the ch.
Yeah. Trebbit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They might have been during that little small window of whole language.
Is Wayne a name that used to belong to one culture now belongs to another?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think Wayne is pretty. I think it's multifaceted.
Am I thinking Dwayne?
Yes.
Okay.
But I know both.
Yeah, every white Dwayne I know though is like 80 years old.
So
I don't think I've met a white Dwayne under 40.
Actually, her brother's name is Dwayne.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, all right. It's Canadian though. I don't know what you do with that.
be Canadian. Yeah, a lot of people. Shoot, Rising got Dion. Like, I mean, people get got.
Yeah, that's being a defensive back. So I know that Rice had Montana.
Wayne is a socioeconomic name, not a racial name. Oh, shoot.
I would say, what class does Wayne belong to?
I don't know. Hardworking.
I'll say blue collar.
Yeah.
It feels like a blue collar name.
Wayne does seem like, unless it's a last name like Bruce.
Yeah, that's not very blue collar.
Nothing blue about those collars.
We
got time to get to Cody before B?
Oh, yeah, we got 10 minutes.
Wait, we got B Edwards today, right?
Yeah, 8:45.
I would say yes.
Get my days screwed up.
I know, I understand. You've been all over the place. It's all right.
Commander Cody.
Cody, what's going on, bud?
Good morning, bud. What's up?
What's going on, gentlemen?
Just trying to make it.
Yeah, that's always good. Nice to see you show up.
Wow.
Just catching strays off the bat.
It's tough.
I just had a couple things. First thing, I called in last week and talked about a short yardage back, and all of a sudden this week, that's been a big topic.
Yeah, you might know some people in the know in that family. I don't know. Might have had a little advantage.
Yeah, pretty cool. I don't know what's going to happen. None of us do, but I think it's cool to see him get a little bit of run.
Yeah, big, strong kid. He works hard. He doesn't cheat the day either. He gets his 24 hours.
Oh yeah. No, the other thing I was calling about is, by chance, have you guys gotten to listen to the Tom Brady on Joel Klatt from Sunday?
Yeah, he's catching some flack, huh? Did he catch a stray from Rooney too?
So I didn't have any problem with it at all. My thing that there is a very important piece that really opened my eyes when he's talking about the transfer portal and guys going to the NFL that have been transferring.
Yeah.
And the disconnect, and he hits it really hard on, every guy in college football right now, they look the part. They could go to the NFL physically. But the emotional and mental side of it, and he was talking about just how it's going to hurt the game in the long run because guys aren't ready to take that next step, because anytime they get challenged, they leave or they pout. And it was very, the emotional side of it's something that I hadn't just thought of. I just thought some guys have it, some guys don't. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And I thought it was kind of a Tom Brady, Kowalski take, right? Like, get off my lawn, because Tom was such a grinder and he hung in there with quarterback battles.
Drew Henson.
But he's not alone, and he won't be the last. So while I get what he's saying about, leaving and not staying the course, like, there are a lot of guys that can, and will still hang in there.
Mm-hmm.
The sweeping generalities and the doom and gloom of the future is a super old man, been there, done that.
Back in my day.
Get off my lawn take. So while I don't think he was being I don't think he wasn't telling the truth, I think the generalization and the hyperbole was a little much. That was kind of my take on it. I mean, he's become very critical of a lot of things because he's succeeded at it, right? Which is probably why he wouldn't be a very good coach, because you think everybody else should be like you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I took it with a grain of salt. It sounded like a guy that had played 23 years, that had 2 trillion Super Bowls and was never considered the best, that was telling you that he played for 23 years, won 2 trillion Super Bowls, and nobody ever thought he was the best. That's kind of how I took it.
Okay. And then the other thing, to kind of hit on what you just said, and I texted you about this the other day, you may not want Tom Brady as a coach, but one guy I would take as a coach after actually giving him a chance and listening to him, Cam Newton and his logic on things. That guy's got a brilliant mind.
Yeah, I'm a big Cam guy.
I had always just looked at the outside, like, what the heck's this guy wearing? Doing with his hair. But actually listening to him speak and talk about breaking down defenses and working and buy-in and team, what makes a team, it was just, that dude, if anyone has an hour, listen to him and Manziel break down just the different types of players they are, about how they changed the league. It was Cam changing the league. Obviously, Johnny Manziel didn't do shit in the league. But no, it was just very interesting to hear Cam's side. And then the best part is he goes, everyone wants to talk negative about me, but I'm not the one. He goes, look at my NFL career. Never had a DUI, never had a domestic assault, never had anything, but yet he gets painted more negatively than guys like Deshaun Watson and stuff like that.
Yeah, I agree. I appreciate the call, Cody. The thing about Cam that I can relate to is because, I was like this for a long time where you're something.
Mm-hmm.
Like Cam probably assumes he's pretty bright, right? Like he himself knows there's more substance in there than people give him credit for. So what people like that have a tendency to do early on when they're insecure is they go out of their way to paint the picture to the contrary just so they can show you that there's more in there.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? Like I used to do that all the time.
You kind of overcompensate for
I'll
the
show
perception.
them,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, you act up in class or you make bad decisions and because you want people to talk to you and say, hey, you know what? There is more in there than that. I should have probably thought about him differently. So you go to these extremes to prove your point. Over time, as you mature, I'm not going to say he's ever going to change the way he dresses.
Sure.
But part of him wanting to show his uniqueness is because deep down, he wants to show you that he's a normal guy. It's the contrarian to him. I'm just... Philosophically, that's the kind of guy he strikes me as.
Normal guy probably isn't the way I would have finished that sentence. I'm not that you're wrong. I just would have said that more than just the freak athlete.
Yeah.
Right? Like more than just this.
Hey, I'm capable of being thoughtful.
Yeah, like I'm not just this freak of nature who was good at football for that reason. We'll talk to Brian Edwards coming up next.
Yeah, they're very unselfish. We were fortunate enough to play in Mike's tournament, and we had a lot of success.
Yeah.
Obviously, we won it,
Champs.
but the important thing that came from that for me was just watching. One of the important things came just watching the kids interact with each other when things weren't going well, because that type of stuff, you can act like it's all good until you get in the games and you start getting beat, and then watching them cheer for each other. And Darian and Max and Jerron and Jermaine, and watching them all cheer for their teammates when they made good plays and stuff like that. That stuff's infectious. In a world that we can live in at times that can be very statistic driven and me driven and NLI and all that type of stuff, I was watching these guys come together as a true group of young men that want to play hard for this school.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live. Now, Vegas insider, senior handicapper, and fan of the cold Budweiser bottles, Brian Edwards.
It's got to be touchdown, touchdown, touchdown.
Brian Edwards.
I don't really love it.
Brian Edwards.
The way they're using the cream cheese to butter the bagel.
Brian Edwards.
I'm going with the cowgirl.
Here is Brian Edwards.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DBM Ravi, Lulla. We are joined now by Brian Edwards, our Vegas insider from Major Wager. What's up, B?
Good morning, fellas. What's happening?
How we doing today?
Hi, B.
Doing good. 9 days away from Toe Meets Leather in Dublin.
Yeah, I was just telling Ravi, I'm usually pretty okay at managing my emotions, but between coaching high school and college and NFL and preseason, this is that stretch where you've had a few preseason games. You start to smell that cut grass. It's like you want more. Like you're checking your days to see. And you know better, right? You're not going to play a preseason NFL game on a Wednesday. But don't think I didn't get up and check and see, well, maybe I did miss a game. Is there a game that's going to be on it? Like I'm going through I need a little more football, even if it's not for real.
Do we have NFL preseason tonight? I wouldn't mind watching Anthony Richardson.
No, don't let me fool you. It's not till tomorrow.
Okay. We don't have any tonight? They usually have it on Thursday, no? Okay.
No, wait. Today's Wednesday, isn't it?
Nope, today's Thursday.
Oh, we might then. Did I check the wrong day?
I'm checking here. No, we don't have anything till Friday.
Yeah, I knew. Yeah, because at the end of the day, I didn't see a game. So whatever day it was,
gotcha.
I was probably wrong.
Yeah, we got a couple tomorrow. Doubleheader tomorrow.
Yeah, okay. Dublin. That's where Ravi Simi's the 10L campaign started last year.
Yeah, I mean, we don't need to talk about that. It's not necessary, I mean.
Hey, didn't you think with the way that game started, you're like, how is G-Tech ever going to get a stop?
Yeah, I was just like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Touchdown drive. TJU right down the field.
And then it turned out to be the other way. It's like, oh, my God.
They're never going to
Haynes King may hit his head on every goalpost in this building.
They're never going to tackle Haynes King. Not a single time. And DJU is exactly who I always thought he was.
Oh, shit.
Did he play in the preseason? Is he with it? He's got to be in a training camp, right? Or no?
Well, I haven't seen him yet.
I think he's probably in like a management trainee program to some.
No, he did sign somewhere. He did sign a free agent deal.
I'm gonna look it up.
I just can't remember where. B, what do we got? What's got your interest peaked, man? You look at Octagon. What do we like?
Chargers. He's with the
Okay, I like how the heck is Edson Barbosa on the early prelims? Him and Dustin have the most fight of the night bonuses, career fight of the night bonuses in UFC history with 10. But whatever, they pay the same whether they're on the early prelims or the main card. So Edson Barbosa, he's up in age now, 39, but he's fighting Drakkar Klose, who's 37. And Barbosa still throws some hellacious kicks, and I'll go with Edson at minus 150. He's won 2 of his last 3, and he's not fighting like a ranked guy. So I mean, I still think Barbosa's probably, he's still probably a top 20 guy, and I'll lay minus 150.
You can get him as cheap some places. I'm looking now. There's some minus 135s out here, B.
I see a minus 140 at BetMGM. This is my first time looking at it this morning. I was looking at it yesterday. Even better. Better.
Were you surprised at how cheap he was? Because that's a lot of juice for you.
Yeah, I normally am like, minus 150 or less. In baseball, it was always my rule was minus 130. I mean, if Glavine was at home, minus 140, I would break my rule every now and then. I'll go UFC. I'll occasionally go up to minus 160 or 70 if I really, really like it. But minus 140, I don't mind minus 140 with Barbosa.
It's interesting. One of your plays for college football, I've got a buddy that he streams, he listens every day, asked me about specifically. We were just talking to Akron's play-by-play guy and for Nebraska's preview, and was talking about the MAC, and I mentioned Miami of Ohio. And I went back and tried to study a little bit about them up front just to see if they could hang in there with how Wisconsin wants to play now, because they're going to want to run the ball again. 17.5 too many for you with Miami of Ohio and Wisconsin, B?
Yeah, I got to go Red Hawks here. So 5 starters back on defense, which is not a ton, but the defense that gave up 18.8 points per game last year, and they went 9.
They were one of the better defenses in the country.
Yeah, they went 9-5 last year. But 3 of their losses were to Power 4 programs. They lost by 7 at Northwestern. They lost at Notre Dame but covered. They lost to Cincy at Paul Brown where the Bengals play. And then they lost at Toledo. No shame in that. And they lost to Ohio in the MAC championship game. But they won 8 of their last 9 games. They beat Colorado State 43-17 in the bowl game. They got DeQuan Finn out of the portal, who, lost his job at Baylor to a very good quarterback in Sawyer Robertson. But DeQuan Finn had a really good run at Toledo. He's got 6,984 career passing yards, 32 career starts, 63-23 TDINT ratio, 1,699 career rushing yards. And they got Deion Colsey out of the portal, who's a Notre Dame transfer. They got 17 transfers, 15 from Power 4 programs. 4 of those transfers were 4-stars out of high school, like the Colsey guy I just mentioned. And Chuck Martin's a good coach. And as a double-digit underdog since their bowl game in 2019, they're 6-3 against the spread with 1 outright win. So, look, I thought Luke Fickell was a spectacular hire, but it has not worked yet. And with that schedule, I don't think they're going to a bowl game this year, and he could be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. And, you'd be happy to hear, I know most people think your Florida Gators have the hardest schedule in the country. I actually think it's Wisconsin. I think they've.
I think I agree with you on that, Ravi.
That schedule's brutal.
It is just ridiculous. I mean, not just the road games, and the road games are crazy tough, but they're home. I mean, they got to play Ohio State at home. They got to play Illinois at home.
They have Oregon at home too.
I went home, and I was got 2 weeks to prepare, and Wisconsin's coming off at Michigan, and then the road games: Bama, Michigan, Oregon, Indiana, and Minnesota. That's crazy.
No, that's a brutal schedule.
This one's interesting because their most productive wide receiver is now in Happy Valley in Pena. Vols, we'll see what happens at the quarterback spot. They make the right decision. And how do they want to move the ball? Correct me if I'm wrong, B. I think this one opened around 54 and a half. Is it down to 52 for the total? Because it opened, I think, a little higher with the Syracuse and Tennessee game.
It opened 55 and a half. I'm late.
Yeah, okay. I knew it was higher. Okay.
I'm late to the party here, but I'll better late than never. And look, it's 51 or 51 and a half right now. I bought the half point to 52. Key number on a total. 49 is a multiple of 7 plus 3, 52. So I got to have it at 52. So I buy it from 51 and a half to 52. And Tennessee's defense returns 8 starters from a unit that gave up only 16.1 points per game. I mean, they've got 1, 2, 3, 4. They've got 5 of their top 6 tacklers back. Syracuse is going to go in the wrong direction offensively. Kyle McCord was absolutely fantastic for them last year. They got beat up bad in the portal. I mean, Fran Brown did. I mean, that was a spectacular year one. But I don't know if they didn't have the NIL or what, but they didn't keep a lot of their best players. We'll see on Angeli. Only 1 career start at Notre Dame, although he did have a 10-to-1 TDINT ratio and would get a little playing time here and there. But yeah, I don't know that Syracuse is gonna. I doubt they get to 14 in this one. And I think Tennessee is going to be, run the ball. And I just think Tennessee wins like a, 31-10 type of game.
For next week, there's a game I want you to take a look at in Toledo in Kentucky.
Oh, I'm on Toledo at plus 11. It's down to 8.5 now, though.
Listen, I think they win.
I won't be surprised if they win at all.
I think they win.
This was the first game I played in week 1. Like, I played this like 6 weeks ago. This was like my favorite game on the whole board.
What's the what juice do you get if you take them on the money line?
It's got to be plus 2.
Here I can look right now.
8.5 is about plus 270. I bet plus 275.
You're probably right, because I'm just wondering if it's fallen that much, you almost might as well take the money line if you like them to win.
Okay, here we go. It is. Oh wow, it's best price I see right now is plus 245 at Westgate and Circa. It was a lot better, but I mean,
hey, when you got it at plus 11, it was probably more than 300, wasn't it?
Stealing plus 11.
Yeah. I mean, I think they can win this game too, and I think they have the better quarterback. I mean,
their offense is ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, and they went into Starkville last year and were up 35-3 mid third quarter, and they also beat Pitt in the bowl game, and they got a lot back. I mean, Tucker Gleason, 24-8 TDI&T ratio last year. They've got their top running back back. They've got Junior Vanderross, receiver, 85 catches, 957 yards, and 5 touchdowns. They got 10 Power 4 transfers. They only lost 19 lettermen, which I've been through my Phil Steele mag. I think that's the lowest number of lost lettermen I've seen on any team in the country. I wouldn't bet $1,000 on it, but I'm like 95% sure that's the lowest number I've seen on returning lettermen. So in the portal era, and I mean they went 8-5 last year. I don't know what happened to them in MAC play. They lost some games they shouldn't have lost, but I think they're the best team in the MAC, and I would still take them at +8.5 if I had to pick it, but I feel a lot better at +11.
You guys are going to think I'm crazy, but a game that I feel equally as good about is Texas catching 3 from Ohio State. I think Texas wins.
I think Texas got maybe the best, or just going into the year,
I'm
thinking
play
they
that
got
game.
the best defense.
They can play that game on the moon. I think they win. I get it. It's in Columbus, but I think Texas is going to be pretty good.
Yeah, I think they might have the best defense in the country. They got 3 preseason first-team All-Americans.
Dude, that D line.
Simmons.
I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just talking myself into it, but I hate Texas, so it can't be the case. But
I mean, I hope you're wrong just for my conference's narrative, but
I know I hate Texas, but I hate Ohio State too, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
they're starting to dare us to take LSU. Y'all see some books are to 4.5 on Clemson now, but I'm not taking it. I've lost too much money week 1 on LSU through the years.
I was gonna say they're daring you to take it because they don't want to take it either.
I know what.
I'm not. They can dare me all they want. They better get to 7 for me to think.
I was gonna say, how big does that number have to get before you take Brian Kelly week 1?
7. They got to get to 7 before I even consider it.
He better keep that thing close or win, because the natives are listen, they are already restless.
Yes,
in Baton Rouge.
I'm telling you, that was one of my hot takes. If he doesn't make the playoff, he's fired.
I mean, you might not be wrong on that, and hey, they're loaded. He better make the playoff. They're loaded.
That's kind of the point, right?
He's throwing to a 4x1 track team, and Nussmeier's supposed to be the dude. Figure it out.
And what about that stud running back, Caden Durham?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that kid. And he's
shifty.
only a true sophomore.
Yeah.
That's our guy, Brian Edwards, Vegas Insider, Major Wager. We appreciate it, B.
All right, fellas, y'all have a good weekend.
We'll talk to you next week. That's Brian Edwards from Major Wager. Michael Bruntz, Husker 24/7, coming up next year on Hurrdat Sports Live.
Yeah, they're very unselfish. We were fortunate enough to play in Mike's tournament, and we had a lot of success.
Yeah.
Obviously, we won it,
Champs.
but the important thing that came from that for me was just watching. One of the important things came just watching the kids interact with each other when things weren't going well, because that type of stuff, you can act like it's all good until you get in the games and you start getting beat, and then watching them cheer for each other. When Darian and Max and Jerron and Jermaine, and watching them all cheer for their teammates when they made good plays and stuff like that. That stuff's infectious. In a world that we can live in at times that can be very statistic driven and me driven and NLI and all that type of stuff, I was watching these guys come together as a true group of young men that want to play hard for this school.
Camp Confidential here with Omaha Westside and Coach Paul Lamanji. Coach, thanks for taking the time and thanks for letting us, do this with your team. How's camp been so far, I guess, in 2 days?
Yeah, 2 days in, I think it's going pretty well. Finishing up the second day, I thought we got better than we were yesterday. The first couple days, you're in helmets, you're kind of just moving around, doing some basic fundamentals. Tomorrow we go half rack, so you're kind of picking it up a little bit. And then, Friday's when football truly starts. So, we're right where we need to be. We just got to keep working, getting better every day, and see what happens.
Coach, we've asked your other players that we talked to earlier just about the motivation coming off of the state championship finish last year. But, you yourself personally, you're probably pretty amped up to try to get back there too yourself, just with your story and what happened last November. Yeah, it was a weird finish. Going back towards November, I thought we were playing really good football. And then, some things happened there at the end. And I had to sit out that last game. But
Aspirations can drive us. Sometimes a simple gesture is what fuels the pursuit of a dream. When it's time to make your dream a reality, we are here to help. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill, reminding you can listen to live music every Friday here at the La Vista location. Make sure you come check it out at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We still waiting on Bruntz, Chano?
Yes.
Okay. We'll get to our guy, Michael Bruntz, here in just a second. But I was asking you because, we were seeing the interviews during the breaks of all the different coaches. And we've got a couple guys on here that, you have worked for or currently work for, both of which I'm like, that doesn't really seem like their sweet spot in terms of sitting down in a director's chair.
Yeah, I do think it's a pretty cool idea.
It is. No, it's great.
With the sit-downs with the coaches and stuff. But, yeah, between Larry or Coach Martin and Coach Lamanji, guys that are always going to be good ambassadors for their program, but I don't always think enjoy the media portion of it. I think for them,
certainly don't love talking about themselves.
Yeah, it fits their personality because it gives them a chance to highlight the kids.
Yeah,
and not about what they're about. So it's a really good job. You caught the snippets from Coach Lamanji where Austin asked him about last year in the state championship, and he's got his sunglasses on, but just knowing him long enough, you can hear the emotion of, hey, I had to sit out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Just how
it's like so understated, but you could kind of hear
terminology and how he uses it, and then to hear Coach Martin talk about watching kids interact in chemistry and camaraderie, where that's always been important to him. Is the culture and how to set it to get his guys to be unified. So even in their uncomfortable, thought process in terms of
kind of out of their comfort zone,
what it is they're actually been able to do, they find a way to be them.
Speaking of good ambassadors.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Does he have any kids that we don't know about named Brian Christopherson? That's what I want to know.
Michael Bruntz here from Husker 24/7, famously not Brian Christopherson's dad. What's up, Bruntz?
Hey, how you guys doing? Did you guys do did you do a line change? I was watching a little bit earlier and things look different than they were.
Yeah, well, everybody needs a brochure on their line. They need the enforcement tough guy. They can't have the pretty skaters, out there in the open ice. Sometimes you got to bring in the hammer.
Is that Austin? Is he the tough guy or are you the tough guy?
Well, Brashear's black, so that was the joke.
Well, I don't watch a lot of hockey.
Clearly.
I know PK Subban. That's all I got.
PK would have been too easy. Bruntz, so famously this week, I asked BC, I'm like, hey, how did 247 Sports discern what they were going to go watch? Wait for Bruntz to tell you?
No. Bruntz doesn't order me around. Get that out of your head. Bruntz isn't my dad.
Bruntz?
That's true. He doesn't call me to help him fix things, so I am definitely not his dad. That's somebody else gets those calls, which I'm fine with. I don't tell him where to go. Brian, I think in that clip as well, he mentioned his skill with taking iPhone practice videos.
Yeah, like the Ang Lee of iPhone practice videos.
Yeah, like I don't know. Like if you guys ever watched like the old like John Ford Westerns where they had the really big, big pans and, just beautiful backgrounds. I mean, let me tell you, you've never seen you guys your minds would be blown by some of the footage that gets left on the cutting room floor. It would be.
You know why I think that's so funny? It's because I've seen that expensive piece of equipment you wear around your neck that allows you to get some really, really good shots. So the irony in you making fun of Bruntz on his iPhone is classic.
Yeah, no, he's good. He's he knows where to go. He's got the angles. He can make it happen. So,
Bruntz, with most people, it's jewelry. But how much is that piece of equipment you put around your neck to get those sweet clips?
Not much. It's you invest a little bit. That's okay. I mean, I'm not buying one of those every year. I know that much. So.
Not supposed to ask a rapper how much his jewelry costs.
Yeah.
Not supposed to ask a
I've seen
journalist
some
how
of
much
his
his camera
photos.
costs.
I watch him pregame, and I mean, he is so quick. And
give me some. I'll start walking around with. I might have to start walking around with the old point and shoots and find a 1 hour photo.
And it's
during the game.
Regular shutterfly. I know that.
Yeah.
Get the disposable ones. You're like on the sideline there.
Yep.
Where would you go, Bruntz, if you only got 20 minutes? Would you go someplace that's different to post on the site, or would you kind of gravitate towards the norm to satiate the appetite? Where would you go?
Well, I went outside because it's that you got to do better light outside for the shooting, and went to the running backs because I was just kind of curious to see who was there and who wasn't. Noted very much as everybody else has that Dana was following that group around from station to station. And then I don't know. I'm always curious to watch the wide receivers work, and they kind of during the individual periods they're always kind of off by themselves in like the back corner of the indoor. So went over there and watched a little bit. Saw some of the special teams because I was just curious to see how that looked because they were actually kicking. They were doing some things. And that's about it. I mean, 20 minutes goes fast. So that was kind of where I bid my time. When you're by the running backs, though, you're kind of in a good spot because you can get defensive line over here. You kind of got linebackers working over here a little bit more. Defensive backs, they always put them way off in like the distance, kind of like not quite to the Cook Pavilion, but you can see it from there. So that's a little bit tougher to see, but I get around a little bit. There was not like one area I was just completely dialed in on.
So if he called tomorrow, if Keith Mann put out an email tomorrow and he said, "Hey, it's helmets only Friday. You can come anytime between 8:30 and 11:30. You only get 30 minutes. What would you pick to watch?"
I wouldn't mind. We saw a little Belichick drill yesterday, or I don't even know what day it is. Tuesday. That was when it was. I wouldn't mind some one-on-ones with the defensive line and the offensive line. We got a little bit of a taste of that with Keanu Davis going against Pritchett, and I forget who Sue was going against, but
Lafotu?
Yeah. Those drills always kind of interest me a little bit more. Just to kind of see, I guess, if when the pads are actually on, if what we're hearing about the offensive line kind of lines up with what they're doing in one-on-ones and protection and stuff like that, which I understand it's not 100% transferable to a game, but it's good to see at least.
Yeah, I think I would go if somebody asked me the same question, I would go where I knew the least about. I think that's what I would pick.
Where
not the defensive line?
Just
where do you think you know the least?
I would go to. Oh, this is boring. That's a stupid answer. Why do I think like that? I'd probably go to O-line, but I wouldn't want to.
You feel like you know the least about O-line?
I feel like.
Or there's the biggest question there because we don't know who one of the starters
I
is.
feel like I feel like I know the least.
That's interesting.
Because I've touted them for so long?
Well, no, I think everybody.
I want to know what the separators are.
Okay. Because I think
so. If I watch it, I can figure it out.
Most people think they're good, right?
What is the difference between Pritchett and Prohaska and Gatula and Kanak?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I would probably go there, but that wouldn't be any. Yeah, that's.
You'd go there, but you wouldn't like it.
Yeah. Yes. That's why you don't process out loud, bro. It's the risk of sounding pretty dumb.
That's all right.
But Monday through Friday, I've learned to overcome it. It's fine.
It's the week. They're tough though.
Wow. It was unnecessary.
I apologize.
I think you free him up to feel comfortable, to be more of a Richard head than normal, Bruntz. That's what I think. Because he was like that last week with you, and I feel like it was a Millard Northian thing.
I'm not doing like the old wrestling thing where I'm like holding you back, and he's just like chopping.
Hold me back. Wait. Hold me. No, I say that just because I think it's so spirited, but I'm pleased to hear that it is so spirited, because I want the fan base and for people to understand, like, it's not just always about who makes the most or the perception of NIL or sacrificing your soul for money. Like, there's still protocol and procedure you have to go through to play football at a high level if you really want an environment of competitiveness,
Yeah, well, and I don't know, I feel like we've talked about this probably all summer, but it feels like there's more depth too, where it's like you're not guaranteed as much, I think, as maybe you used to be based on the amount of depth and talent they have on the roster now. Like year 3 is much different than year 1 in terms of having guys that have closed that gap a little bit. I mean, even, just you saying earlier that you wanted to know what the separators were at the tackle spots. I mean, that wasn't even really a conversation the first 2 years, right? Like, it was kinda, but not as much as it is now, I don't think. I mean, even the conversation of like, do we have guys switch sides if it makes sense for the depth chart? I mean, that wasn't even, a thought the last 2 years. So at a lot of spots, you finally have positional depth to where, you had to go out and win a job before, but it feels like you really got to go out and win one now just based on who's on the roster.
I used to always tell people, people ask, hey, Bruntz, what part of your life would you go back to if you could pick one? And I think most people always think I would say college, but I skip over it. I always picked high school because there's just things I would do differently. And they said, oh, college, you did such and such and such and such. And I always think to myself, it was so competitive. I just didn't want to have to be on every day, right? Because if you weren't on, you'd get hurt. So there were times where you'd be practicing and you're like, man, I feel like trash, but I know if I miss, I'm screwed. What position would you least like to be the guy where if you missed, you feel like you could be in trouble because somebody else is going to get those reps.
Probably in the secondary. I think that's where I would go. I mean, I don't think the gap is real wide between the first and the second team right now. And I think too, when you have so many guys that, you know, at least have the ability to play multiple spots if they need to. I don't know. It's kind of like the show goes on, right? If you're not there, you're out. So I think that's where I'd probably go with that question. Yeah, I think that's where I'd go. I mean, I think it's going to be a challenge to get enough snaps and reps for everybody at that in that secondary.
Not to go 2 in a row because I know this is your guy, but let me ask, how strange does it sound that you may give this position group pause given 2 weeks ago? What if it was running back?
Like, how do you feel if you're Quentin Ives right now?
Oh, yeah. And I wasn't even that, yeah.
I mean, we've got the best example right there, right? Because, like, Mosey's came in. We've heard Connor Booth. We heard, like, it's Vince Genatone week. Like, you know, like we've heard.
We've gone through Ives, yeah.
Yeah, and Ives is just like, oh, well, if he comes back, he comes back.
How weird is that it could be running back?
Maybe, yeah.
2 weeks ago, we were terrified. And I still don't think we fixed anything. It's just the perception.
BC and I were talking about this around the dinner table. And you know, I think really with, you know, with the running back spot, you know, the guys behind Emmett are coming along. But it does feel like a little bit that, you know, the first few weeks, I mean, it's got to be an Emmett Johnson time, right? Like, you know, I don't know if the coaches would say that, but it feels like
he said gonna have to buy those or QRB1, right? Like he said that.
It's not peanut butter jelly time. It's Emmett Johnson time.
Yeah, I mean but I guess your point about Ives is correct. I mean, if he's not available, you keep bringing guys along. I mean, it helps that you have some guys behind Johnson that are more high upside guys. I mean, a guy like Mosey, the amount that he's probably learning, you know, week to week, it's like leaps and bounds right now. Because I mean, he played the position as a senior in high school, but it's still, you know, you listen to him being coached, and it's a lot of hard coaching, and I'm sure there's a lot of learning going on there. So yeah, I mean, it's those guys. I think, you know, it would probably be a really tough spot to beat Quentin Ives right now when you're in a yellow jersey and coaches are pushing you out of drills because you're not able to do them, and this was supposed to be your big break. I just to the original question though. I mean, it's still got to be the secondary though, right? Like,
I mean, that was what I was going to say.
I'll entertain the conversation about running back though. I mean, it just feels like the guys that are kind of in that second group in the secondary have a lot more snaps under their belt than what the guys at running back do.
Like, you think if Donovan Jones,
yes,
has like a hammy or something next week, he feels good at all about where he is when he comes back?
No.
Right? That's what I mean.
No.
Like, secondary feels like a meat grinder. There's so many guys back there and so many guys that we think are capable, right? So, I mean, even just from a running back perspective, you're just limited to the number of guys, sort of. Whereas at defensive back, there's literally 28 guys back there. And let's say we think 18 of them are pretty good and 15 of them are cross-trained at my position. Like, yeah, I don't like, that's a place where I don't feel good, especially if I'm like pushing for reps. If I'm a starter, maybe I feel a little better. But if I'm like pushing for second team reps and I pull a hammy, I feel terrible.
Yeah, I'm wondering. I think the reason I even threw out running back is just because I think it's weird. We thought we were so thin, and we very well may be, right? But if we have this tendency to like take and run what we've heard in pressers, and you know,
I just saw Mackay for the first time, and I was like, okay, I'm good.
But I'm just saying, you heard Coach Rule talk about running backs last week. It kind of doubled down this week about getting guys to the ground, especially the good running backs and tackling.
it's all of a sudden the perception of what's in the running back room is different than it was being met with such skepticism before camp started. Because what hasn't changed is whomever comes in after Emmett is still really inexperienced. We just feel like the room is different, right? The experience part of it hasn't changed. There's a part of me that kind of entertains wide receivers too, where I get the fact Dane Key works hard.
But like if Hunter can't go, Keelan Smith brings it down his neck.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess DB is the easiest answer. I don't know if I feel it's the right answer. I'd have to. Have I changed your mind at all? Are you still settling on DB?
No, not really. No, it's what the wide receiver was the other one that I was thinking of because I think it's that group of guys like Quinn Clark, Keelan Smith, Cortez Mills. I guess I would put in that group too, where it's like they're not going to start, but you watch them work and they're very much in the conversation. So I think that's, I don't know if I were maybe not Jacory, but I mean, Dane Key or Hunter, I mean, you kind of just,
or like Bonner, like go for generic Bonner.
You just kind of move them off to the side and you keep going. I mean, that's
good on him for his single jersey too. Bonner's another one of those guys I wouldn't enjoy practicing against.
He's not small.
Well, and he brings it every day.
Yeah.
It's just he brings it every day.
I hope people can appreciate, like, you basically play wide receiver, you're asked to move to fullback, or whatever utility word you want to assign to it. I mean, he in, whatever age of college football you want to call it now, I mean, you have to appreciate a guy like that just, shows up and does whatever's asked like that. I mean, he's a throwback.
Are we going to act like 3 years ago he didn't get the ball 2 years ago, like on an inside handoff from the fullback spot, and like the very next year was the move position H-back guy, and now he's a wide receiver
again?
Like,
yeah, no, I mean, it's.
I watched that guy I watched him run fullback dive in a real game.
I seem to remember him trying to seal an edge against a defensive end somewhere along the way, right? Like,
is that not crazy?
No, I love Janarin Bonner. Like I don't care what the stats end up saying when his career at Nebraska is done. Like, I love that guy.
He's kind of he's like what they would say is probably the ideal for like a single digit jersey, right? Like that's the.
I could see that.
Him,
like that's what they would point to and be like, that's our guy. That's a single digit guy.
The other one I thought is kind of in that mold is Harburg. Like I think of Harburg in a similar vein. Like,
you think he gets the number one?
I would guess. Like I'm. If he doesn't end up with one, I'll be pretty stunned. Like,
you're a big statistical way the probability guy, Bruntz. What are the odds? Who's the odds on favorite to get that last single digit?
Dark horse Archie Wilson. Do we get number one punter?
More likely Archie Wilson or Dylan switches from 15.
I feel bad for those people if it's Dylan. I mean, there's all these
so many jerseys out there
around.
Dane Key's gonna have to get a new throwback jersey.
Yeah, the Westerkamp jerseys are gonna be coming out of the woodwork like crazy. Well, I mean, if you go back and look at all I mean, his high school number was 1, right? And
yeah, you're right.
You go back and look at the pictures he took on his recruiting visit. What number was he wearing? It wasn't 15. So
that's your fave?
No, not necessarily. I'm just saying. I'm just putting out odds. I mean, I literally just said Archie Wilson's going to be the guy. So this is how seriously I'm taking this.
Wow. No fun, police.
No, I'm having fun. This is fun. We're having fun. Look at us having fun.
Look at all the fun we're having.
Bruntz isn't my dad.
He's like the fun dad. No, it's fine.
Get off the shed.
Wow.
That's an incredible pull.
Nice. Very, very
Nice.
No, if you guys, who's your three? Who would you say is your three to get it?
I think Dylan is up there. I think Harburg.
It's got to be an offensive player, you think?
Wait, what's our balance so far?
Not necessarily, but those are the first. I mean, those are the two that make the most sense to me.
Got a lot of DBs wearing single digits. You got Buford, you've got Singleton, you've got V9,
Van Poppels.
Van Pop.
So that's 4 of the 9.
Hartzog.
Yeah, it's 5 of the 10 right there. So, I think either. I was glad Barney got one. That made sense.
Oh yeah, listen, that Deuce looks sweet.
I mean, the fact that I was gonna be upset if Barney didn't get one.
Yeah, get the Deuce loose, baby.
I was gonna be upset. I don't even have a third. To me, it's Dylan or Harburg.
I wish I could.
I don't have a third. I really don't.
I feel like I should be better, Bruntz, but I'm drawing a blizzy. I can't. I don't know.
Maybe Lenhart.
He has had a fantastic
maybe Cam Lenhart
camp.
That would be my third. Is Cam Lenhart,
and he wears sticks anyway, right?
Yeah, so he'd look all right in a 1.
He has had a,
and he's like they put him out there a lot. Like they even when he was younger, like they put him in front of the press a lot. Like it seems like.
Well, he looks and talks like he's about 37.
I thought he looks like
you know what I mean. Like,
he's got to go. He's got to go home and clean out the gutters after practice. Probably.
He's mature.
He's got cop face. Like he looks like a 40-year-old cop. Like he looks like a guy that's like out of central casting in a cop movie.
Yep.
I don't know, man.
He's my third. I've always liked Cam, but they put him out there a lot. Kind of like what the program's supposed to be about. I would put Cam as my third guy.
Hey, Bruntz, while we're spinning your wheels here, we got in this discussion in the stream about like confidence, offense versus defense. And somebody asked the question, if there was top 5 picks, is there a defensive guy that goes in the top 5? And if there is, who is it?
If I'm building my team, am I taking anybody on defense?
Is there in the top 5? I had an easy answer and I got a little pushback.
Was it was Van Poppel? Is he
that was my
your guy?
That was my pick.
You got to be good up the middle. I would go there, I think.
And I think he's pretty good.
Yeah, he's not bad.
I'd make an argument for Shavers.
Okay, top 5.
It's probably just outside, but I'd make the argument.
Because I think a lot of people they're going to take Key, Barney, and Raiola.
I'd take
and an O lineman.
Can I take Keona Davis and play the long game there?
I'll hear Keona Davis. I mean, you're not going to.
Of course you would.
I mean,
this dude's fan club.
Sorry.
I'm just glad he's got people that he can like hold the meetings with now, because I was on 6 months ago, my man was campaigning with all the signs and all the seats were empty, like with the fan club booth.
Yeah, you got quorum now.
Yeah,
like a year ago after the last open practice.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So it's been a full year at this point. I was like Andrew Yang running for president. Like I was by myself. Nobody was listening. I was just like, I was cheering on. They're like, I'm sorry, who are you? And so that was me on Keona Davis Island last year. Now we got a little bit more support. We got a little more people behind me.
And it's still not as much as he'd like.
No, you could probably just draft him and have him get off the bus first. I mean, there's a ton of value there.
Worth it.
Do you know why I kind of low key hope it's Cam?
I love Cam too. I was early on Cam.
So does your colleague.
Mine?
Mike J. Schaefer.
Yeah. They're
very, very interested in the plight of Cam Lenhart.
Yeah, he it's interesting. He came out gangbusters freshman year, and then maybe not so much. By his own admission, not so much last year.
Yeah, regressed a little.
Yeah. All right.
I like it.
I think we'll know today.
You think so? Who number 1 is?
Yeah, I think they're off though, but not off.
Like Nelly, I am number 1. No.
Yeah, you didn't really play the game right. I got Archie Miller and Dylan Raiola.
Not Archie Wilson. Archie Miller
Wilson
does a different thing.
Yeah.
Archie Miller is not going to be number 1.
He might be. You don't know. You don't know.
Surprise.
Wow. All right. Michael.
That's all right. I did the Archie Miller thing like a week ago.
Yeah, I've done it too.
I got hoops on the brain always.
That's fine. I'll be all right. All right, Bruntz. Hopefully we'll see you soon.
Yeah,
I'm sure we'll at some point.
See if I can make it 2 weeks in a row.
If the stars align.
I like it.
All right,
buddy.
We'll talk to you.
Thanks.
It's Michael Bruntz, Husker 24/7.
Could you see it being? Bruntz must be an amazing person.
Well, he always wears that A's hat, so you're like, okay, buddy, you're dealing with
You're going through a lot.
Hey, how about roles reverse now? Being a fan of the Twins.
I know. Oh God, it's almost. I don't know if it's worse than the A's, but it's up there.
Yeah.
That's one of the worst ownership situations right now, like in sports.
Would you rather be playing your games at Heflinger or have that as the ownership group?
Heflinger all the way. I played some ball games at Heflinger. It's a dog park now, but I'll take my chances. You're probably going.
Hey, that's basically where the A's are playing.
You're running into fewer turds at Heflinger than you are wherever the A's are playing.
Wow. Getting some run for Sierra Wright.
Yeah, there are a lot of people with Sierra Wright. I don't know.
I think that would be a long shot.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's a good player, but
I think that would be a long shot.
I haven't heard him be talked about the same way as some of these other guys. So that's not anything against him, but that's why he's not on my radar for the number 1 spot. I think it's Dylan, Harburg, or Cam.
You think Dylan cares about the brand?
That's what I wondered about. I thought about
everybody.
that.
That's the low hanging. I don't think that's his thing, though.
I hope not.
Isn't that what everybody said the last couple of days? Oh, I don't know if he's done 15 minutes the way he's branded it.
Yeah.
He could wear 99 and could flip the script.
Yeah, and everybody would be like, all right, I guess I'm buying a 99.
I'm getting 99.
Yeah.
He either likes the number or he doesn't. Whatever he wears is going to be the brand.
It's going to be popular. Yeah, right. And so, I don't know. Honestly, maybe I'm thinking too much about this, but I have thought a lot about it. If he got voted a single digit and didn't take it, it would concern me.
Are you surprised it hasn't already been Emmett Johnson?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I like Emmett. I think he's going to have a good year. I don't know, maybe I'm holding it against him for the brief, almost hopping in the portal. I don't know if.
Wow, I forgot all about that.
I think a lot of people have, but
you grudgy McGrudger.
I'm not. No, if I'm trying to take the whole picture of what the single digit is supposed to be about, right?
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Then I'm
just being diplomatic.
Then I'm thinking, okay, if I'm thinking about guys that are all in, guys that represent what I want the program to be. And listen, this isn't to be a negative. I think Emmett's looking out for Emmett, and I think he can be a good teammate still. But I think if there was a better situation, Emmett would have gone. And I don't have a problem with that. That's what most guys would do. But I don't know that that's what the single, I don't know if maybe other people on the team remember that too. I don't know.
Wow,
I don't know.
What a Denny downer.
I'm not trying to be a downer. I'm just if we're looking at the whole situation, I can't be the only one that remembers it. His teammates are there.
Why did I forget? Well, he's playing with kids. A lot of them weren't even there.
In the spring, a lot of them were there in the spring. Almost everybody was there in the spring. How many late enrollees do we have?
What did I tell you about Fax?
You don't like them? Get them out of your face?
Yeah.
Don't hit them with you?
Fax out of my face, man.
That's like an Uno reverse card right there. I don't personally hold it against him. He stayed here. He looks like he's all in. I'm cool with that. But if we're talking about differentiators, I'm probably going to go with the guy that never tried to hop in the portal.
I forgot all about it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You think Cam Lenhart had people calling him?
I kind of hope it's Cam.
You don't think Riley Van Poppel had people calling him last year?
Do you know why I kind of hope it's Cam? Because that would further let me know that a guy that played early and then could come back a year after
not getting what he wanted. Yeah.
That means he paid a price.
I agree.
I would.
Good ambassador for a program, too.
I would rock with Cam.
Good ambassador for a program.
Plus, I really need that D-line to be good.
Well, that's the other thing is if Cam gets one, then the D-line is good. I feel better about even.
Because you already know he can play, even though you know the single digits isn't always about your ability.
But I already know he can play. That means his mindset is probably in a place. His headspace is good enough where he's probably going to produce. And if I got 2 single-digit guys on my D-line, I feel good.
Wow, you've talked me into cheering for Cam.
See? I got you.
But I like him.
That would be 7 defensive guys, though, because Javen is 0.
Yeah. Well, your only offensive guys right now are Barney and
Barney and Key and Bonner.
Oh, so you got 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Cam would be the
Cam
7th.
would be with 7th. Yeah.
But Barney and Bonner are ones where I'm like, yeah, those are guys that should be single digits for sure.
How about them being on the edge so you know they work?
Yeah, you have to. Especially after last year where, like, with the blocking and all that kind of stuff. And
it's just funny, sometimes, Caleb will utter something about the offense and he'll be like, man, Barney. He's like, man, that dude is good. That's all.
Who said that?
Caleb.
Oh, yeah.
Man, that dude is good.
Yeah, Travis, I do believe Keanu also jumped in and out of the portal. I also didn't mention him for a single digit. So,
yeah.
Like, I get it. Like, I totally understand.
It's just weird. Keanu was
also
thinking about the portal and his parents had just got here. I was like, do they know that?
Also, Keanu's position coach left, which I understand a little bit more. Like, Emmett's didn't. Emmett's situation didn't really change. That was a weird one for me.
Yeah.
Keanu was a weird one for me, too.
Especially for a guy like EJ, who's such a good ambassador for the program.
Yeah, generally, like that one felt weird. Maybe that's why it strikes me a little different. Yeah. I don't know almost anything about Keanu Davis except for I like watching him practice.
Yeah, dude. I mean, Emmett rocks with Nebraska.
But yeah, I wouldn't. That's why I did not bring up Keanu. One of the reasons I didn't bring up Keanu for a single digit is hop to the portal. Like, I think they want it to be about guys that are about Nebraska, and I know the coaches don't decide. But if I'm right that we're getting closer and closer to the players voting matching up with what the coaches would pick, because that's a good sign for the program, then I'm guessing players are starting to think about the guys that are for Nebraska.
I bet you this is close.
With the last vote? I really do think it's probably between Harburg and Dillon. I would love it if it's Cam. But Harburg's the epitome of like, hey, well, I'm about Nebraska. And Dillon is the face of the program.
And he works.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? He's the epitome of I will do whatever this team needs to win football games.
You know who I'm surprised about? I said this yesterday, and for the second day in a row, he did not come up.
Who's that?
Lindemeyer.
Oh, yeah. He flies below the radar a lot. I do think he's by far the best tight end in that room, though.
That's weird because he works.
Yeah. Like, am I crazy?
No, and his developmental story is
incredible.
Incredible.
I think he's way better than he was last year.
Oh, yeah. He was way better at the end of last year than he was at the beginning.
I look at that dude, and I like the whole room. But he's the only one that I look at as like, that's a complete tight end right there. If Lindemeyer's on the field,
how would you have liked to have been Luke with Fedoni and Bork on the come?
I mean, that takes a lot of. I mean, it's a lot.
And you kind of have been labeled as a certain type of tight end.
It's a lot like Van Poppel with having Ty and Nash in front of you. And it's like, I got to wait out.
I still think it's easier with the more guys you play, but
you're right.
Yeah, sure.
It is. But Lindemeyer is a guy that I appreciate because, like you said, had to wait. Certainly wasn't even in the neighborhood.
And be developed.
Yeah, it wasn't in the neighborhood of being ready for those guys yet. And now, to me, like, he's the only guy in that room where I don't feel like I know what's going to happen because he's in the game. Like, if Carter Nelson's in the game, if Harburg's in the game, I feel like I know more about what's about to happen. Where Lindemeyer's in the game, I have no idea because he is a complete tight end. I've been really impressed with Lindemeyer.
I rock with that.
And that's the dude. I mean, you've been riding with that dude forever.
Yeah.
But that is a guy where I think if defenses see him in the game, they get no clues about what's about to happen.
Ravi said Shane, I need that in bold so I can read it, please. I don't have my readers on. I'd be stunned if the program wanted to have his own post and it's not Raiola or Harburg.
Like its own social post?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's interesting. That's an interesting way to think about it.
No, I'm curious, though. So walk me through it.
Yeah.
Why? What's the difference?
I mean, everybody else was announced as a group, I think he means. Like as part of a group?
No, didn't they? They did the walk and talk with Dane. Wasn't Dane solo?
I don't remember. The one yesterday was like 4 guys.
Yeah, Rule talk with Dane separate, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Am I? And now don't hold me to that.
I don't remember if that was before or after the post came out, though. Like if the walk and talk was before or after.
Oh, that's
the
right.
graphic came out.
Because I do know they talked
Yeah.
With just the two of them.
Yes, but I don't know if that was before or after the graphic came out. So that's what I'm not sure.
Somebody's smarter than me. Like answer.
Somebody go look through the.
Nope. AJ said, "Oh, and it had to be Action Jackson." I'm not saying he's smart. He said Dane's social post was with RVP.
Yeah, and the walk around was after that. So there we go.
All right.
That's what Austin's telling us. It's got to be true.
Anybody else but Action Jackson, you guys failed.
Yeah, look at him. He's on it.
I don't know if I'm conceding that he's smarter.
He's helping produce the show, though. We appreciate that. Coming up next, we're going to talk a little Northwestern football as we continue Nebraska's schedule preview with Louie Vaccher from Wildcat Report here on Hurrdat Sports Live.
Yeah, they're very unselfish. You know, we were fortunate enough to play in Mike's tournament, and we had a lot of success.
Yeah.
Obviously, we won it,
Champ.
but the important thing that came from that for me was just watching. One of the important things came just watching the kids interact with each other when things weren't going well, because that type of stuff, you can act like it's all good until you get in the games and you start getting beat, and then watching them cheer for each other. And Darian and Max and Jerron and Jermaine, and watching them all cheer for their teammates when they made good plays and stuff like that. That stuff's infectious. In a world that we can live in at times that can be very statistic driven and me driven and NLI and all that type of stuff, I was watching these guys come together as a true group of young men that want to play hard for this school.
Camp Confidential here with Omaha West Side and Coach Paul Lamanji. Coach, thanks for taking the time and thanks for letting us, do this with your team. How's camp been so far, I guess, in 2 days?
Yeah, 2 days in, I think it's going pretty well. Finishing up the second day, I thought we got better than we were yesterday. The first couple days, you're in helmets, you're kind of just moving around, doing some basic fundamentals. Tomorrow we go half rack, so you're kind of picking it up a little bit. And then, Friday's when football truly starts. So, we're right where we need to be. We just got to keep working, getting better every day, and see what happens.
Coach, we've asked your other players that we talked to earlier just about the motivation coming off of the state championship finish last year. But, you yourself, personally, you're probably pretty amped up to try to get back there, too, yourself, just with your story and what happened last November. Yeah,
it was a weird finish. Going back towards November, I thought we were playing really good football. And then, some things happened there at the end, and I had to sit out that last game. But
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
This is a special group that returned in January, humble, hungry, frustrated after a 2024 campaign, but ultimately a group that chose to show up, get to work, and make incredible change as we approach the 2025 season. It started with great leadership from the leaders on our team, hard conversations, a willingness to really evaluate everything that we do within our program and really set and establish new standards for how we operate.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi, Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We are joined now by Louie Vaccher from Wildcat Report to preview Northwestern football. Louie, how are you this morning?
I'm good, guys. How are you?
Good to talk to you again, buddy. How you been?
I've been good. Can't wait for football season, though. It's that time of year.
Nice.
We are right around the corner now, a little bit further from the Nebraska-Northwestern game, but as we kind of work our way through Nebraska's schedule, I do find it interesting sort of the time or the place in the schedule that Northwestern falls for Nebraska. It's after a tough road game at Minnesota, right before USC comes to the house. When you're looking at Northwestern's schedule, do you kind of put it in blocks like that where you see when they're looking or when they play certain teams kind of around the context of the rest of their schedule? And how do you feel like the Nebraska game fits into Northwestern schedule?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely look at it that way. Northwestern's schedule, no matter what angle you take, it's a pretty tough schedule this year. And they certainly, didn't do themselves any favors by scheduling Tulane in the opener down in New Orleans, August 30th, 11 a.m. kick. It's going to be hot down there. That's a tough game right there. And then you look at their away games. They go to Penn State, they go to Nebraska, they go to USC, they go to Illinois. So it's going to be some tough sledding for them. I think, where Nebraska, the thing about the Nebraska game, first of all, I missed having Nebraska on the schedule last year. It was kind of strange going through a season without it. And it's been such an entertaining series, and the overwhelming majority are one-score game. We had, 1-point game, 2-point games, Hail Marys. It's always been an entertaining kind of game. And Northwestern plays well at Memorial Stadium. They've done pretty well there too. So that's one that, especially if they stumble in that opener, they're going to have to find a way to steal a win or two on the road. And that may be one of them they have to get. We'll see.
Louie, it's interesting. I think 2 years ago, we're thinking, man, Northwestern's flying under the radar. Tough Big Ten media days. It was awkward. Didn't get any favors from kind of your commish, and we got to grab the podium, and we're having a conversation. We win 8 games. Oh, whoa. If we're being honest, that was some coach of the year type stuff to get 8 out of that. Mm-hmm. The wins happen backwards. You go 4-8 a year ago. When you're looking at the program, you're not a victim of the year one success if you're looking at it, but was the 8 wins in year one, given what you inherited in the time that it was inherited, has that been an indictment on how you viewed year 2 last year?
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't have had a better season. David Brown was Big Ten Coach of the Year, and, coming off of firing Fitz, who was, he was a beloved figure in Evanston, and they had the scandal that they were working through. And for that team to make a bowl game and win the games they did, that was just an unbelievable season for them. And then last year was a dud. I mean, let's face it, they really struggled offensively. They not only went 4-8, but they were an ugly 4-8. They were hard to watch. They couldn't score. It was pretty brutal. So, I look at David Brown right now. He's had one spectacular year, one disappointing year, and he's got a little bit to prove, I think, this year. You look at Northwestern, they're going into a new stadium, right? They got an $850 million stadium in 2026. They certainly don't want to put a bad product there. He's got a new athletic director in Mark Jackson, the guy that didn't hire him. And, they really ponied up in the transfer portal this year and paid some guys. They got 14 transfers, which is by far the most they've ever had. And they kind of, they addressed a lot of the needs they had out there. So he's got, I think, a little bit to prove. I'm not saying he's on the hot seat or anything like that, but I think there's some things that he's going to have to, I think, prove this year. This season after last year's debacle, I think he's got to prove that he's the right guy to lead the program in this, this crazy college football landscape that's changing all the time,
I don't know if Cignetti screwed it up for everybody, but this is kind of how I feel about like when Michigan State hired Jonathan Smith. I'm like, that's a fantastic hire, right? Like it was a really good hire. Bruntz been Coach of the Year, and I feel like
both these fan bases and to some degree, even in the media, they feel like these are big years for the respective coaches in such short tenures. It doesn't sound right, but you more than anybody would know the reality of it in Evanston, especially given what you talked about with the facilities and the money invested.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the big part of it, right? And it's not the guy that hired them is making the decision now, and they've got that new stadium. They want to sell all those luxury boxes and club seats and all that kind of stuff. And last year I think was really disappointing for the fan base, and that like I said, they kind of opened up the purse for them this year. That I think they really got what they wanted, and not only did they get those 14 guys, but for the first time ever, they had a lot of them enroll in January. So Northwestern was on a quarter system, and it was always too hard to get them in, but they worked with admissions and kind of streamlined the process so they can get these guys in January and go through winter workouts and then participate in spring practice. I think they had 12 transfers in spring practice. So, he was given a lot, and to whom much is given, much is expected, right? And like I said, I don't think he's under job pressure or anything like that.
You get admissions to work with you. Number one, that's what big time programs do. But number two, you're right. It does ante up a little bit because everybody's on board and you have very little room for excuses, right? I mean, Kelly hung his hat on that one before he left Notre Dame, that he just couldn't get admissions on board, right? So that's a nice little nugget, Louie. I would not have guessed that the powers that be at Northwestern would be on board with helping finagle and understand the quarter system to get guys on campus. That's a big step.
Oh, that's a huge step. You're absolutely right. Especially, an academic school like Northwestern, where the academic requirements are always going to be a hurdle and stuff like that. And they, admissions work with them. And I think Mark Jackson, the new AD, was a big part of that as well. And they, they were willing to do that for the football program, and just kind of, they didn't relax the academic standards, but they worked with them on the timeline so they could get these guys in early. So that was definitely a big rock. And then, like I said, they really ponied up and paid a lot of these guys, and they addressed the needs they had. They got Preston Stone at quarterback. They picked up 4 offensive linemen. So they really did the things they needed to do.
So, Louie, I do want to get into this here in just a second, but I've wondered a lot, and I don't think we talked to you last year, but certainly not by the end of the season. But I've wondered a lot, how much do you feel like you can actually take from that first year of David Braun? Because it felt a lot like an us against the world, and we just fired our legendary head coach. And like, how real did that feel versus, like, did it feel like last year was sort of actually his first go and it didn't go well?
Yeah, he could only do that entrance at Big Ten Media Days year one, where I was like, that's incredible, right? Like, first time we hear from him was at Big Ten Media Days. Remember, we were like, I'm like, that had to be brutal.
Like, there's always just felt like that, like, not that, I mean, obviously 8-5 counts, like, that's real, but in terms of his future as a head coach, it sort of felt almost like fool's gold from the outside. So, like, I'm wondering if that's how you processed it as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was some of that, certainly. I mean, the expectations were so low, right? So, everybody was expecting them to. I saw a lot of
people thought they were going to lose
2 wins.
They were the win total was 2.5.
Yeah, like they coming up 1-11. People thought they were going to lose every game of the season.
You guys were
correct. And they came out and stumbled at Rutgers, and they looked bad, and it looked like, well, it's going to be a long year. And then, I'll tell you what, he really showed he can lead a locker room, and he captured those players. And you guys know how beloved Pat Fitzgerald was, right? I mean, players loved him too, and he was able to come in there and win the locker room and get those guys to buy in, and they made steady progress, and then they won the last 5 games of the year. They really had a sensational season, and he deserves all the credit for that. But that was, can you lead a locker room? Can you lead a team? And I think he's proven that. Now it's, can you lead a program, right? Can you go into these living rooms and recruit? Can you lead the NIL effort? And can you, work with the administration and all those kinds of things that are happening? And with the new athletic director and all the politics that goes involved in being a head football coach. So I think, he proved he's the X's and O's guy. I think he can lead the team. He's a football coach. Can he lead the program? And that's what I mean by he's got a little bit to prove, I think, this year.
Little bit of wear and tear on Cam last year, not having a lot of other weapons. We know he's a quality player. Can I talk about Preston Stone separately than how it goes with fitting with Cam Porter, or are those two things going to be connected as they could clearly be mutually beneficial?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I think, you saw last year Northwestern had, I think it was the worst pass efficiency in the country. And they threw 7 touchdown passes all season last year. They really struggled in the passing game. And you saw, the defenses were playing a lot of single high safety press coverage. They were daring them to do it. And then, of course, when they do that, Northwestern averaged 3.3 yards a carry last year. It was tough sledding all the way around. So if Preston Stone, he's got a big arm, he throws a nice deep ball. I don't think teams are going to be as willing to go to a single high look against them this year. That's hopefully going to open up the running game, and you get to score a little bit more, because that offense last year, 17.8 points per game, was 128th in the country. And like I said earlier, it was tough to watch.
So on the defensive side of the ball, Louie, where do you think they are in terms of being able to hold up against what is, as you mentioned earlier, a pretty daunting schedule this year?
Yeah, I think the defense will be solid again. I think they were pretty good last year. I thought they wore down a little as the season went on, and again, I think that's part of the offense's struggle too. They couldn't sustain drives. They didn't get a lot of time of possession, and your defense gets tired. That certainly happened a lot. This year, I think they'll be solid once again. They're a bend but don't break unit. Hopefully this year, I think they're looking to get more turnovers, make more plays. But they did a good job in the portal too. They lost, their best corner in Theron Johnson, or replaced him with Fred Davis, who's a guy that started his career at Clemson as a talented guy. They picked up a defensive tackle. They picked up Yanni Karlaftis from Purdue. So I think their defense is going to be a little bit stronger, and it was pretty solid last year. I don't think anybody had a problem with where the defense was. And if the offense can improve, I think the defense will be better as well.
It's just interesting to hear you talk about guys like Karlaftis, and Purdue got decimated in terms of got a couple.
Tough season, coaching change. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, they may be in big trouble to have gotten a good head coach. But last one from me here, Louie. When you talk about like the support and the stadium and how it's going to open, the facilities, is the expectation level changed amongst the fan base at all relative to the money that's been invested in the program?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think, we talked about $850 million stadium. They practice in a $270 million facility, beautiful structure out on the lake. If you guys haven't been there, next time you're in Chicago, you should go. It's amazing. And the new stadium, I tell you, I went down Central Street the other day. It is massive. I mean, the scope of that thing is just huge compared to the old stadium. It's actually fewer seats. It's only going to be 35,000 seats, but the structure is just massive.
I do too. I think that's a good idea.
You need to be 35 to 45. We're good.
I think it's
phenomenal. I think that was a good move. Get more purple and let you guys know when Nebraska comes in town, it's half red at least, and they've had to go to a silent count in their own stadium a lot of times over the years. So it'd be nice to see it mostly purple for a change. But all those things and the transfers that he got and the early admissions we talked about, all those things, I think the expectation is a little higher. And they, now in the days of revenue sharing where it's $20.5 million that they're, giving out, there's some expectations now, I think, attached to it. So, they went 4-8 last year, was disappointing. They do have a tough schedule. I think if they can get 6-6, if they can get, win 6 games and win a bowl game, I think everybody will go away happy and feel like the program's heading in the right direction.
That's Louie Vaccher from the Wildcat Report. Louie, appreciate
always
the
good.
time.
Good to talk to you, bud.
Always, great stuff.
All right, thanks, guys. Have a good day.
That's Louie Vaccher, Wildcat Report. I really like Evanston. Like as a place.
I can't believe how Purdue got rated.
Oh, yeah.
and they got a good coach.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting, right? Because I think good coach.
Yeah.
And I thought Jonathan Smith was a good coach, and Braun did a good job. It's just like
I do wonder with Braun though about the Fool's Gold thing. Like, did it ever?
Do you remember him talking at Big Ten Media Days?
Yeah.
You got no help from your AD.
Nothing.
The conference did.
They just put him out there.
Like, hey man, here you go. First time meeting this guy, and it's like, wait, what?
Do you remember when that was one of the guys I was most interested to hear from?
Yeah.
Because I was like, this is the most effed up situation possible. You're just throwing this guy to the wolves.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
They turn around and won 8.
Yeah, but it's I don't know. It still doesn't feel real. We'll see what happens.
It's still real to me, damn it.
That's as good a way to end the show as any. That's DBM. Ravi, Lulla will wrap up the week tomorrow on Hurrdat Sports Live.
See you. Have a good day. Love you.